tomorrow is already.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know, man. Hopefully it doesn't start with a T and end with an Appia. I don't know if it's that, then we're gonna have a little bit of a situation there. Okay, good trading today, man. We'll run the gauntlet here today with AMD. It's somehow worse than tilapia. Okay, stay tuned for tomorrow, and we'll get Neil's opinion on what's worse than tilapia.
At least one personal thing.
Okay.
All right,
we'll give it a shot right there. I got to go. Tilapia plus chicken. All right, thanks, everybody. It's a midday show. Sharif is back, baby. So we'll see everybody at 2 p.m. Sharif and Joe, take it away, guys.
Music needs to be louder.
I like that. You're
pumped up. Boom! Greetings and salutations, beautiful people. Welcome to the midday show. That is your boy, Joey Options, and I am Sharif. And yes, we are all poppied out, giving, of course, remembrance to the ones who fell before us. Joey, we want to make that shout out super quick because we always get questions about these from our American friends to the south. What are these things you are wearing on your chest? They are World War I remembrance little,
Americans don't wear these?
No, the British do, but the Americans do not. So just letting them know. Let's do the shout out, though. Shout out to Dangerous. Shout out to Ryan. Shout out to Denise, always throwing love in the chat. I always like that from you, Denise. Chris Miller, we got Brown Lightning, we got Fox, he's throwing up deuces. 2 New York cents, shout out to Holly and Ryjan. Jake Roberts, Snake, Dr. Darkroom. How about, who else, man? Bobby, Bill, Bob. Clipwave, Assassino. Pello, The Pulse. We got Dude V. We got Donkey Trader. Volky. Who else, man? We got Ichiro. Dijon Mustard's in the house. We got Dan Gale and Hinsey. That was going to be Hizzy. Ginvesting. Hangry Wife joining us as well. Andrew Chow. Bastone. Is that how you say it there, Katina, man? Is it Bastone or Baston? Short? I thought you told me to short the name. Yeah. Bastone, okay. We got wicked chunky trades. One more, Joey.
Okay.
The OG, Other Zinc. Good morning to everybody. I hope everybody had a fantastic weekend.
Yes, sir.
I had one of my better weekends in a hot minute. Can't wait to talk about it. Good morning.
Oh, really? Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, was this your tournament? Was it
no, man.
Oh,
we got a couple more weeks on that, Joey. We got to practice.
Man, I can't believe you didn't even tell me before. So now I'm curious on what your good week, why your weekend was so good.
Well, I don't know, bro. You were focused on trading. I don't want to get too much. You know,
no, that's totally fair, man. Yeah. Because we got a lot going on. Yes, what is this? All right. So we know that the crypto space isn't doing too well. We sold some contracts. Fantastic stuff. Collect 75% of the premium. Close those. And it's unfortunate that I had. Well, I mean, it's not unfortunate. It sucks that it's not appreciating how we want it to. That's fine. But at the end of the day, we're going to mitigate risk, and we're going to sell our covered calls. It's essentially the poor man's covered call strategy. So I've rolled those down. I've sold additional more, collected 75% of the other premium. Okay. Now I've moved the strikes lower, I believe, pretty tight to where my entry is here. So yeah, I'm selling the 66 calls now. All right, before it was the 69s. Now I'm onto the 66s, and I'm long the 65s. So essentially what we got going on is we collected $450 once again. We closed in, we locked in that 75 before, and then now we're just mitigating. It's honestly, this is what I'm talking about. Buying time is so important. I'm so thankful that I bought the May 15th expiration cycle, because if they were near dated, I would have been done. They would have been worthless essentially. And I'm a couple K in the hole. Full disclosure. But we can mitigate that, Sharif, by just continuously selling these covered calls. All right, enough of that. That's what I got going on. Also, eyes on Meta. But Cleveland Cliffs, why am I trading this? Slightly in play here on today's session. You can see that we're starting to get that breakdown. We tried long attempt number 1, didn't work, patience, and then sure enough, we're getting a second entry right here, and this one's starting to work substantially better, and we have triple the amount of size here than what we did on this trade. A couple other, I did take some losses on IREN. That wasn't fun. We'll pull that up. So we'll go 0 for 2 on that one, and we're shooting 50% on CLF. Which we like a lot. And then also for IBIT, we grabbed a little long off of that as well, too, which I'll show you momentarily. But there it is, long attempt 1, we get out. And then once I added into this position, I'm like, okay, I can't give this. It's either gonna go substantially quick or it's gonna chop around and sell off. And as soon as we got that breach of the volume weighted average price, sure enough, boom, I was out of that trade.
Boom.
So that one didn't work for us. Sharif, one more before I send it back to you, my brother. And then yeah, big time. So I was short IBIT out of the gate at the crack of this support level at 61. We take it out a little prematurely, but then I'm like, you know what? Let's see. Considering the volume on the sell side was so substantial, I'm like, all right, let's see if we get any form of indecision prints and maybe we can get a little short duration bounce. Nothing too extended, and as you can see, we get in much larger size than this, and then we take a little bit off, and then eventually we get stopped out, break even. So we're not going to complain about that. CLF, if that gets to the volume weighted average price, it's going to be a solid day.
All right, thanks, Joe. MSPR. So let's just cut it. All right, let's get right to the ones that are moving. 85 penny support, previous area of resistance, very clear on the side chart. I missed that. I got in at 85 pennies on the downhole. I love this level. Look how many times we rejected 85 pennies before we cleared it. It also happened to be the 10 EMA on the 5. I said double whammy, punch. We punched on the down halt. We held through the halt. And I, in fact, had another DCA to defend into 80. Didn't even come into play. We scalp up all the way into $1, but this one is having all sorts of trouble clearing that dollar area. It's not a surprise to me whatsoever. We know it's a different trade north and south of that dollar. You're going to have to get above that dollar decisively. I'm not talking about, you know, a couple of pennies here and there, 103, 104, even 109, which is a high day. Not good enough. Not enough, you know, clearance of that psychological area of resistance. I'm talking about the dollar. To, you know, sort of use it as support. So here's what I'm looking at. We got another test of 85 there. I got stopped out. Probably the wrong move here. So what I did was I placed my stop at 88 pennies. I said, look, I'm long 85. Let me stop out at 88. Kind of negating the fact that we've had umpteen amounts of bounces off that 85 penny area. And here we go again. So end of the story is you have supported 85. It's proved it to you multiple times. Now, that's the good news. What's the bad news here? The bad news is you're putting in lower highs. And to me, that's screaming, you know, the sellers or the profit takers are still in control. And you're unable to break that sort of lower high pattern here on the 5, no matter how much we try. Now, there was aggressive selling into 102. First of all, there was aggressive selling at 101. We cleared that 101 seller. 102, 103, they all had monster sellers, MSPR. The reason everybody and their mother's cousins looking at this is up 335%, and it's getting into that dollar area. So yeah, we're going to continue to look here at MSPR. It's still very much in play under my system. It's just about really getting a bit more nuanced with the entries. Now, new position alert, NUAI. Got into this one. This one's also a good-looking bull flag, but it also suffers from the same affliction that MSPR is suffering from. What is said affliction, you ask? Nobody asked. I'll tell you anyway. The lower highs. They're just very, very, you know, apparent to me on the 5-minute chart. That doesn't mean that we won't find a clear area of support like we have on multiple occasions. I'm talking about 1030 5-minute candle. I'm talking about the 1035 5-minute candle. How about the 45, the 50? They all found support at the volume weighted average price. It doesn't mean they'll continue to find support, but, you know, trading doesn't really guarantee you anything over here. So that's what we're at right now. We're in NUAI at 93, showing me 83. So this is the area where I'm looking to add, and we'll take out the previous area of DCA as it's just a little bit lower than I think the price action will take us right now. So what's my move here? What happens if it loses a volume weighted average price? Well, VWAP is right at that $0.75, you know, give or take 1 or 2 pennies. So I'm seeing VWAP in the high 70s. Obviously, 3/4 is at 75. So my move is I'm going to give it to the breach of 70. I want to give it a little bit of room, even though this one hasn't shown me its propensity to breach the volume weighted average price on the day. Doesn't mean it won't do this time around. So I'd like to have a little bit of room between that 80 penny, or sorry, that 70 penny level and where I get out. So we're going to go ahead and throw in that order now for the remaining amount, and then we'll see if this one wants to mosey back up. So we have 88, so it's showing me 87s, so we're not too much out of the money right now. Let's throw something at 93, and then we'll layer orders into that $7 area, lest it be a staunch area of resistance, as the French say. So we're going to keep an eye out on that. So as I mentioned, MSPR and NUAI, but I've got more, baby. Pickings are kind of slim, but there are some going on here. TERN looking very, very bull flaggish. This one, is volume profile though, is dropping substantially from the open. It is down into the right now. We're barely doing about 250,000 shares per 5-minute candle. However, there is a divergence between the volume and the price action, which always scares me and makes me on alert. I don't like volume price action divergence, especially when you're bull flagging, because it feels to me that they're running out of longs, and then the shorts are going to see that, and then they're going to get crazy with it. So that is something that I'm keeping my eye out here on TERN. I'd rather the money fills than a breakout, because we've seen so many topping tail candles on TERN, and that you have to take into consideration the characteristic of the name. If it keeps topping tail, that means the algo off that's trading it is getting short or taking profits aggressively at area highs. And if it did it once, it might do it again. If it did it again, it might do it a third time. So be on the lookout for that. TERN, Joey, keeping on that. What do you got?
All right, cool. Good stuff there, guys. So we're just slowly taking some out here on CLF. We had a super chat there from our guy, Patrick. The vol, Joseph, how far out do you mean when buying time? Well, if you're relatively new to options, you want to start with at least 6 months, in my opinion. It's going to be a little bit more expensive, but what that allows you to do, it gives you some playing room, right? Which I think is extremely important to note and understand, because if I didn't have that type of playing room on some of my trades, then essentially you're just going to lose everything to theta decay and IV decay, and that's not something that we're aiming to. We want to leverage our systems in the correct manner, and with that being said, that's going to be continuously buying our time. Again, once again, I have contracts that don't expire until May 15th of 26, and I'm just rolling contracts. I'm shorting contracts that expire on November 21st. The other one was the 14th. So again, you can see what I'm essentially just doing here is that thesis isn't working out. Out of the jump, it honestly went straight to the downside. So essentially, it's just mitigating risk at this time and just kind
Joey,
of.
can I interrupt?
Oh my God! Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
TGE's breaking out, guys. What do we got here? We got 35s. It just got up into 43s. That is the official high of the day. It has wicked in a little bit higher. I think those are institutional prints at 8 o'clock, 8:05. Be on the lookout here for a $0.50 rejection. This one's up bigly as well, 82% and going TGE on the nicey, but be careful for the halts on this one, because you're going to fly blind if it halts. You will not get the top, the theoretical auction price during a halt, unless something is trading on the Nasdaq, excuse me. So be on the lookout here, TG. Sorry to interrupt you, Joey.
All right. Yeah, I was just, I meant to take some off there, and I accidentally added a little bit too much, but that's okay. Yeah, guys, anyways, enough. As for the options, yeah, that's buy time, because that way you can just sell, do the poor man's covered call, collect some premiums, and then hopefully at some point the underlying will actually head back toward your entry prices, and you don't lose too much value. So that's just essentially what I got going on. It's nothing overly complex. What I'm looking at as well, too, from a daily standpoint is Meta. I'm going to be keeping my eyes on that one. Maybe an oversold bounce at some point. But I mean, going the contract route is what I'm looking to do. But I don't want to release too many details right now. I've been all weekend. I was working on just like game planning around this specific trade, and I just want to focus on that pretty aggressively, because it can be substantial for what I'm looking to do. But as for this CLF, I accidentally added up here. That's so frustrating. That should have been an additional out, but that's okay. Maybe we'll get a pop. We had those indecision prints off of those lows that made us take that trade, regardless of what's happening. Patrick, I hope I answered your question. I'm pretty sure I did. 6 months is where you want to start. It gives you playing room. You can do a bunch of different things, and you can manipulate the contracts in manners that you want to. But now, as for this, guys, beautiful prints off of these lows, and then you're getting that move all the way up into 1178. VWAP is going to be the primary target, considering I just add. Now, I have to look at this as a free rolling trade. So if it comes back to flat, so that is my unrealized. If it comes back to zero, I have to get out. This was a slight mistake. I hit the wrong key, but it is what it is. Maybe we get back up into that price target that we're looking for. Now, do I take an additional trade here on Amazon? I hopped in. I forgot that I posted up at 255s here, and I come back. And I'm like, oh no, okay, we're in it, but I got out. It is climbing a little bit higher, and it's like, oh, Joe, you should have held it, but I honestly meant to remove that order. I wasn't expecting it, but right at the lower end of the range, that's a pinpoint entry. We like that one a lot there, so keeping our eyes over on AMZN, just in case we do get this range breakout, right? Forming that bull flag consolidation. What's going on? You have that consistent lower high trend, but with that flat bottom, so which way is the volume gonna step in? And that's what you essentially want to follow. If you get that fake out, that's fine, but there's going to be another opportunity. You want to see on your volume profile is in which direction you get that outlying volume print and those volume signatures, all right? Joseph, can you look at IonQ 70 call September 18th? 319 days out. Let me know what you think, please. Yeah, absolutely. Did you say you sold your coin calls, Jameson? I'm curious on that one. But yeah, let's take a look at IonQ. Obviously, like the the quantum space, but you got to take into consideration just the fact from those August lows, you go up 143%. Things are going to cool down. It's holding right now 57s. You like the 70 calls September 18th. Okay, so September. Okay, yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying now. Yeah, I mean that's not bad, right? But let's take a look at the at the money IV. That's going to be really important because we want to try to avoid buying our contracts when we're in heightened times of volatility. You want to be writing. And with that being said, if you're sitting in that type of position and you're looking that far to go out the money, what I think the better route is to just sell some cash secured puts if you can, or do some bull put spreads. I think that's the best route until you get those specific levels that you're looking for. But anyways, aside from that, going back to these 70s strikes, at the money is, yeah, it's 144%. I mean, if you go all the way to your September 18th calls, 2026, obviously the at the money IV is going to be relatively cooler, only 99%. But I mean, that's only 15% off of what it is when we're trading on the near dated expiration cycle. So once that starts to cool down, obviously the contract is going to just lose value on implied volatility, but you have plenty of time. And if it doesn't work immediately, I like how you're writing that strike price. You can write some 72s and collect a little premium in the meantime until it does start working in your favor and you want to avoid just selling calls in general. But there it is on CLF, guys, getting an additional pop higher. Once we break through this cliff, I think we're going to be okay, 1178. And then there it is. Next target, it's going to be 1182 at the volume weighted average price. Adara, what do you got?
What we have here is a response from Novo Nordisk NVO with regards to Pfizer's lawsuit this morning about Novo Nordisk's attempt to acquire Metsera. So just to give a little bit of background, because there's a lot happening in this story, we know that Pfizer is interested in acquiring Metsera. Then Novo Nordisk, as of last week, put in an unsolicited bid. Metsera coming out here saying they actually preferred Novo Nordisk's bid, but Pfizer then responded in kind, saying that they didn't think that was fair, that Novo Nordisk was not handling the situation appropriately. Now they have filed their second lawsuit, this one antitrust related as of this morning. Well, Novo Nordisk responding to said lawsuit, now that we're all caught up here with the context, saying that their proposal for Metsera offers compelling value to Metsera stockholders that far exceeds that of Pfizer's proposed transaction. They also added that they adhered to all the restrictions under the Pfizer merger agreement. They're actually confident the facts and the law are on their side there, and by them I mean Novo Nordisk. They said that Pfizer's also wrong about the competitive dynamics of the marketplace. So NVO responding here following Pfizer's attempt to sue Novo Nordisk and Metsera for Novo's attempt to acquire Metsera. Again, guys, Metsera prefers the Novo offer. Back to you.
Thank you very much for that, Adara. We had a fantastic chat in the question in the chat. Boom, there it is. So we didn't go panic mode on that one. We take a little bit off. Now we're starting to climb a little bit higher. We can piece another bit out here. Actually, I'm going to post up at 82s. But the question that I wanted to get to before I send it over to our guy here, Sharif, is that someone, I think his name is Smoked in the chat. I'm going to go with his name, Smoke.
Get it, Smoke?
Yeah. So is it? Anyways, I usually do bi-weeklies to mainly scalp play, sometimes day trades. Can I still buy that far out and see good price action / volume? Absolutely. If you're looking for that type of price action, just correlate your deltas, right? And then sure enough, you'll be okay, because what you're looking for is for every 1 point move in the underlying, how it reacts and how that contract reacts. And if it's very identical, there's nothing wrong with buying a little bit more time. I'll go through a quick example on something that's more liquid. So we'll go to NVDA. We'll take a look at the at-the-monies, and then we'll go a little bit farther out and compare what the delta is there. Okay, so you can see at 207.5, our delta is $55. So for every $1 change in NVDA, you're getting a $55 change in the contract pricing. Now let's just pick a random spot. December, what is it? The delta, Relatively say, okay, so they don't have it, so it's the same thing, right? So you're okay. That's something that you want to keep an eye out for. Obviously, your gamma as well, too. We can go back and take a look at what the gamma is, and it's relatively the same, right? So your rate of change, essentially. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with going a little bit further out. You don't need to buy leaps or anything like that if you're looking to just scalp and trade them from a weekly basis. What do you got?
What do I got?
No.
It's pretty. It's so pretty.
Here we go, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Sizzler. Joey, they open Sizzler here, bro. I'm buying the biggest lottery ticket.
Yeah, right.
Oh, my God. Boom on TGE into the high of the day. We're at the high right now, $1.48. Couple of trades on this one. Let's talk about it. Initial breakout trade, right? Because I got in a little bit late. 135. You love that level. How come? Well, we talked about this. Umpteen amount of rejections into that 130. There it goes. It drops down, though. So I had to move up my stop. I'm like, look, I'm not going to DC into oblivion. We're going to take the last remaining amount on this initial trade over here for a profit. If it holds 130, we can have another discussion if it does hold. And it did. Punch back in at 33s, and there's a scalp up into 50. Now this one's really going. All right, so now we're over 100% on the day. There goes $1.60. It's time to take this one seriously here. I think we're going to have to look for that 140 to 150 area of support. I wouldn't give it to 130 anymore, given the distance by which it's cleared that 130. I don't know where the halt parameters are. It feels like it might be in the mid to high 60s, given the percentage move from the breakout. So let's keep an eye here on TGE, zigging and zagging. I'm going to look for an initial hold at 150. We don't get that hold at 150, I'm punching in between 140 to 145. I wouldn't give it all the way down into 130. I think that might be a little bit of a risky dip trade. If it breaks into that level, I'd stop out personally and then let it set up again at 130, and then we can have a discussion about whether that level is going to hold. So let's watch now as it dips back down into 150, holding for now. I don't want to get in quite yet, right? I want to see if it's going to breach the $0.50, maybe with a little bit of an imbalance of sell orders, or shorts get a little exuberant. If they do, hopefully we'll be wise to that and we'll punch back in. But there's another position I have to bring your attention to, which is NUAI. We got 84s on this one. This got a nice price spike up into, I think, 05. So we got the 705 print there. I'm still holding this one for a volume weighted average price hold, and ideally a break above 7.25. You don't have to be a chartered market technician to see that 7.25 has been a very clear area of resistance since we lost the bid at around 10.05 this morning. That red candle on the 5-minute is the one I'm referring to there. Back, though, to TGE as this one does come into the $0.50. Let's look now. Okay, so we're losing the $0.50. 47s, 46s just showed up right back above the $0.50 we go. So there's other traders who are interested in said $0.50, not just me. Let's see how many, though. Are there enough for this one to hold above said $0.50? We already printed about 46 million shares today. It's a dollar name, so it's not too much. This is not a good-looking candle, though, on the 5. It's a topping tilt candle with a 161 high, and now we're printing 150. So, forgive me for not being too exuberant to punch into a topping tilt candle. I'm going to need clear levels of technical support before I weasel in. As we mentioned, watching that 50 penny level. This candle's got 2 minutes left on it over here, so we'll see if it ends up holding up above said level or what its situation is. Back, though, to NUAI. Above 7 we go. This one's had all sorts of trouble with 7 as of late. I mean, 7.25 to me is the sort of, I don't want to call it the real technical resistance. Go ahead, Joey, tell them.
Yeah, we got it. Man, there we go. Cleveland Cliffs. You know what? I'm going to be honest. I don't think I've ever Sharif, did you intraday trade this a couple of times? I don't remember.
I don't personally remember.
No, yeah. I mean, I personally haven't either. So, I mean, beautiful prints across the board on this name. We just caught that additional fill. Look, this is no hezzy, no panic mode right there. As soon as we added by accidentally, Sharif, I didn't even mean to.
Get it, Joey?
Yeah, it was an accidental add, and you know what? I'm like, this name is strong. It hasn't put in a red candle. Yes, take my strong hand. There it is. Boom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 straight 5-minute green candles. Sorry, straight to the top side. Sorry to interrupt you, but we're now on the backside of the volume weighted average price. Let's see if we can get this rocking and rolling a little bit more on CLF, man.
I know you and your OB, you have an affinity for being on the backside.
Yeah, Obi does.
Well, I feel like you might as well. Anyway, hi. Going into 707. Where are we waiting here, Joey? We're waiting at 12. So we got a pack our patience there on that one. I punched back into TGE on the break. We've got a couple of beak wetters into the high of the day. I got 63s there. I believe it did. That is actually the high of the day, 63. So this candle's got another, I think, 30 seconds or 15 seconds or so to close. It's gonna, if it closes this way, it might close near the high. Let's see if the sellers step in or the buyers step in. Can't really shake 60 for now. Looks like there's a seller here at 59 waiting for this candle to close so we can see what's going to develop subsequent to that. Still a seller at 58, nothing doing over here. I got 57s on. So what's my move? Have we cleared 50 pennies by enough for me to weasel in? I don't know. But I can use prior bar low. I have a decent position over here. So prior bar low was 146. I don't mind giving it to prior bar low. Given 50 is the area that I'm eyeing as support. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to go 145 for an out, which is fine with me, as it comes right back into 154. So now we're a little out of the money on this one. Let's give it an eye over here. Let's see if it holds up at the $50, Joey. Pack in the patience. What do you got over there? You're pumped.
Yeah, yeah, of course you know I'm pumped, man. Hold on there.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah. All right, that's not
going on?
How do we stop that one there? Okay, we'll hit something else there, bang. We'll hit this one here. Yeah, absolutely, man. Oh, you know what, man? No, I'm not even gonna talk about it. Anyway, well, I was gonna talk about the Jays game, but those guys were all over it this morning. I'm not gonna.
Can I say something?
Yeah,
to you?
absolutely.
When that guy, I forget who it was, that smashed the homer in the bottom of the ninth.
Yeah.
I saw the way he hit a foul before that, and I'm like, oh no. He's seeing the ball clearly. It was an aggressive foul, I think, into left field. So I was like, I even said to my buddy, I'm like, home run next. And I was like, oh, no, it ended up being true, Joey.
Listen, you played competitive sports when you were growing up, obviously football and everything, right?
My tennis tournament.
Yeah, and you're 10. Okay, but no, but like, in all seriousness,
yes, sir.
I'm not going to say, like, again, I played pretty competitive hockey growing up. And sometimes you just know when something happens in a sporting event, it's like, oh, that is not good. Something like, for me, the sporting gods are 110% real, right? So I knew, listen, anything could have happened, but as soon as that ball got wedged in Game 6, I'm like, yeah, that's the battle.
You knew.
Right? I knew instantly.
And we didn't have the luck on our side.
Yeah. Instantly, I knew. I'm like, oh,
what are the odds of that?
I've been in those scenarios. I've been in like some, not necessarily in a baseball one, but from like just a hockey standpoint, it's like, okay, you hit a couple posts, the goalie's acting as a brick wall. You just have that gut feeling of someone who's been in some of those scenarios. Obviously, World Series isn't comparable to what I've been in, but I just had that feeling seeing that ball being wedged because I've never seen that in a baseball play at the Dome, ever. I've never seen that. And then as soon as the probability of that happening is extremely low. But all right, guys, what I was getting at here, some good stuff here. On Joey Algo. So again, I just pulling them up. It literally picked up this CLF print that we were looking at earlier in the day, and the exact same thing with IBIT. I was gonna pull over to Tesla to see if it picked up that signal, but here it is on IBIT, which I'm surprised it didn't get stopped out on this one here. So it's still currently ITM, which isn't bad. We're not gonna complain about that. Did it pick up the Tesla signal off of those lows? No. I think I was looking at a different name, not Tesla. Didn't pick up any NVDA. Oh, Meta is what I wanted to see, but I don't understand why it didn't, but that's okay. I thought it would grab this print. I know why, but essentially it is what it is. But it's picking up the majority of the things, just doing a little bit more refining on the algo over the weekend and just game planning for some potential big trades coming up, swing trades that is. But as for CLF, boom, right off of those lows, same thing right there, pop, 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 we take some out, accidental add, and then we take a little bit more out there. So right now, I'm just looking to see if we're gonna get a sustained breakout here on Amazon. It doesn't look like it. We broke through the top end of that wedge, so you can see we were on the backside of the trend for some time, a couple minutes to be exact, and then sure enough, because the volume wasn't supporting the breakout, we're coming right back into the middle of the range. So be patient and wait for it to step in, and I think there's gonna be a solid opportunity. So I'm just hunting on Amazon as well. Let's see what everybody else in the chat is saying. Joseph, it reminded me of watching France against Argentina in the last World Cup. You were sad your team lost, but you know, you watched something. Yeah, it was absolutely amazing. Do you ever cry eyes over the baseball? No, I don't think I've ever. I think maybe hockey one time, it was a brutal loss I might have, but other than that, I never really have shed a tear over any form of sports. I'm numb to the Leafs sucking now, so yeah, it's just how it is, man. Just how it is. Yeah. Did he score?
Again.
Hey, let's go.
Again.
Yeah.
Yes, bro, finally. He's been putting in work, though. Like, I could draw a comparison to forechecking in hockey. Like, the center forward has to keep the backs under pressure.
Yeah.
And they don't like doing that because it exhausts them and they want to save their energy for the attack.
But this guy's
But in the Prem, you can't do that, right? If you don't forecheck, I'll just call it forecheck so people understand. If you don't do that, you're not going to play. It's just that simple.
You got to work hard,
you got to hustle, man. Right? So, yeah, he does a lot of that, but he hadn't been rewarded, Joe. He hadn't been rewarded with goals. Now he is finally getting a little reward. Of course, I'm talking about Gyökeres, the masked assassin. All right, we're just going to do a quick fan over here. Sorry, shout out to Aloha, local something. He's saying Aloha, PNG, not PSG, has done well for us. Thoughts on CTM? Let's look at CTM for him. Then we'll throw it over to Adara for crypto. Let's see what we got over here. So this is the daily on CTM, very, very consolidative, but most notably, most of the prints are above $1, and that is good news. Otherwise, you're going to get that pesky letter from the exchange. So I wouldn't want to use any of the moving averages over here because we've been very much in a consolidative state. To me, this one local, you're buying at support and you're trading it as a range unless you're looking for, of course, a long-term investment. And that's not what Joe and I do here. We're talking intraday trades and swing trades. So this one, very, very consolidative. I buy it below $1. I sell it a little bit above $1, and I hold a piece for the dream for continuation. That's kind of how I see here on CTM. No too much else about it. We're going to pause for a second, and we're going to go to Adara for the crypto segment.
It's like getting smoke. I mean,
Let's take a look here at Bitcoin BTC breaking below, at least briefly, that 106 level. Now we're back above that 106,000 level for Bitcoin. I'm seeing an interesting reason being attributed, at least by some here online, to this drop. Now we had comments from Scott Bessent yesterday, that is of course the U.S. Treasury Secretary, speaking here on the State of the Union, which is a CNN program, and he said that he thinks that the economy is generally in good shape, but there are sectors that are in recession. Now, of course, it's unclear if this is directly the reason for this drop in Bitcoin, though, as I mentioned, I'm seeing some people attribute these comments to the reason for the drop. And this comments from Bessent also seemed to mostly be designed here to put some blame here on the Fed, saying, quote, the Fed has caused a lot of distributional problems with their policies. Again, he did mention that the overall U.S. economy is strong, but there are concerns here about high mortgage rates, which are hindering the real estate market. So again, some comments from Scott Bessent, potentially on watch here with regards to this drop in Bitcoin. We'll take a look here at Ethereum as well. ETHUSD, which much like Bitcoin, is breaking below a level of support. Now, Ethereum for multiple days here held support at that 3680 level. Breaking below it, next level of support for ETH could be 3,500. I also want to let you guys know Netflix breaking down. I'm seeing some people in the chat asking about that. No news on that, though we know there is that forward split, 10-to-1 split that was announced on Friday. Gapped up on that, could be giving back, but either way, this one is pushing lower. NFLX, back to you.
What do you got?
Yeah, Netflix is tanking, guys. Just watch out. This is a pretty good signal, in my opinion, right? So you have this engulfing volume print preceded by potentially a hammer candle being formed. So keep an eye out on that one. Let's take a look at the daily. I like what Adara was bringing to us with that crypto segment. Once those floors are cracked, what I'm going to suspect is that we're going to see some aggressive selling probably once the support levels are broken, and then maybe you have to be patient and wait for that turnaround. But as for CLF, guys, this has most definitely been the best trade of the day for the kid over here. So yeah, not too bad of a look. I want to pull up some of these crypto charts one more time just because Adara was talking about them, and we'll go over them momentarily as soon as I can get this pulled up. There it is. There we are. Pull up. We're gonna pull that up. Yeah, the sky, that's crazy. Yeah, BTC, USD. I was gonna ask Adara. I don't know if she likes that David singer guy. David, the one with I don't know what she said, but okay. Anyways, guys, so this is essentially what I'm looking at. Let's get this off of here because it's not going to display anything meaningful on the daily. But yeah, once this support level is cracked, hopefully it doesn't get too chaotic and you head into the 95s or anything along those lines. But I mean, with this space, absolutely anything can happen. You got to take into consideration 126. We're now down 15% off of those highs. I was buying contracts up in here, and then I'm like, you know what, this isn't working considering that I'm in on 6, so essentially the right to 600 shares. Now I had to start selling against it, but hopefully we hold up 100. That's going to be the ideal, so that's going to be another 7% or so from where we're currently trading at. Not going to be a good time, but we can get a rebound, continuously sell premium. Sorry about that, Sharif. Until we get this thing turned around. So we have plenty of time. And that's what we're just going to continuously do. Not hit the panic mode, just sell premium, and then hopefully we come out on top in the long run with this specific trade, Sharif.
Like it, brother. Like it. Wishing you all the like, obviously.
Easy.
All right, so let's get to these trades because they're all breaking down, so I had to get out of them. So let's start first and foremost with the one that we were in here with NUAI. It comes back into VWAP, and now it's a plethora of lower highs. So wow. It's yelling to me, Sharif, I am a... Oh no, flat bottom break candidate. Of course, we never really know whether it's going to bottom break or not, but the volume weighted average price is getting tested way too many times for my liking. So we're gonzino on this one. We'll take the profits and run NUAI at VWAP, but feeling like it might break down. TGE did break down, but this one is still above the 10 EMA on the 5. That pleases me greatly. Let's see now. Does it hold up at this 140? I'm going to give this a chance, and I'm going to give it to below 135. Okay? Sometimes the money fills are in between the 10 and the 20. The 10 right now on the 5 is at 137. The 20 is at 130. But I like the 140 level as support because that's a 10 EMA. And I also like it for consolidation area before we broke up. So I'm involved in 141 right now. Let's go ahead and post in the mid 40s as well as the high 40s. And we're also going to take a couple of prints above 50. But what if it breaks down? Well, I'm going to get more because I want to get the money fills, as I mentioned, between 130 and 135. It loses that 130. It ends the trade for me. Simple as that. So let's go ahead and wait right there and see if we can get something along those lines. That's my look on TGE. So that's why I got out of that one initially. But I want to mention GSIT. So shout out to you guys for pointing this one out. Not one that I had eyes on and not one that I know is how much is up on the day as a result of it not being on the side chart. So GSIT, yeah, look, it's not up much. In fact, it was red on the day. It had a crappy day Friday. It had a crappy day Thursday. It was consolidative before that. 28th consolidative, 29th consolidative, 30th crap the bed, 31st consolidative today, trying to break above Friday's highs. It'll have to get above 10.5 to do that. And there is certainly a seller of note here at 9.59. Look how many times we've rejected $9.59 at 11.20, 11.25, 30, 35. None of the prints have gone above that. So there's a seller of note. Whether or not he can get shaken or what, we're going to have to wait to find out because I'm not going to shake him, clearly. I'm a market observer, not a market mover. So Joey's shaking. So GSIT in focus for me over here, looking for a breakout trade, then we can have a discussion. Where are we at here with TGE after getting back into that long? Nothing doing quite yet, holding at the 10 for now. We're going to have to get above 45 to get the print. Yeah, and you guys have been talking about BQ as well. And I don't mind this, even though it was a multiple halter, I think, to start the morning over here. And look at this price action, guys. Like, this is the price action from today. You can hardly tell it moved based upon Friday's dump, Thursday's pump, and then dump. Look at that Christmas tree, dude. Can't even make the left side of the Christmas tree green. It halted so many times. So that is certainly going to be, factoring into the reason or the reason of why I trade it or why I don't. We'll see what this one does. But there goes TGE up off the 10 EMA like a glove. We just took 47s. There's 48s now. Selling coming 49s. We get the print at 49. Now we're waiting at 54. So TGE right back in. $0.50 seller. Can he get shaken? 52s now showing up. All right, momentarily down into 51. 52 rears its head again. We're going to have to get into 54 to get that print, but a good move up by TGE nonetheless. $1.63 high, by the way. I would submit to you that both closing prints and the opening print on the two high candles are $1.58. So even though we weaseled into 163, be on the lookout for a high to mid 50s rejection here. So let's see if we can get the 54s. We're showing 53s. packing the patience on this one. Man, I was about to punch in a TERN off the 10 EMA, and like I digressed because I was trying to do something else, and there it goes again into another high of day, TERN, all freaking gas, no brakes, and guess what? This bad boy here is knocking up on 100% as well, 93% and change, and it's about to take out 100 if we get a price spike above 16.25. So TERN, if you're a small cap trader, you should be focusing on this one. But there goes TGE into the high. We get the prints there. Let's set up now a little bit south of, let me just see how many shares I have. Pardon me. We're good to go on this one. Let's go ahead and set up now just south of 60, because I mentioned 58 is where I perceive the resistance to be. We just got 54s. So let's go ahead and set up there at 58. 58 showing up, and boom, into the high, Joey options. We're going to post up at 69 now. 64, new high a day on TGE. We're looking for continuation. Good move up on this one. $1 name. You can size this substantially. Tell them what you're looking at, Joey.
Yes, sir. All right, guys. So once again, there it is. A nice, beautiful pickup. So just going through some of the names on that one. We're long NFXL, Sharif. That's going to be the 2x leverage right there on Netflix off of those low signals. Boom, we're just going to pick those up here. Okay. And this is what I'm talking about. I have a little bit more conviction in this trade. So essentially what's going to happen if it does start to work out really well, we have this engulfing print followed by a beautiful hammer candle, which the Algo did pick up. So once that gets going, we're going to get into full size. Right now I'm in at approximately 66%. Okay. Yes, that's 66% on NFXL. That's going to be a tongue twister. I'm going to have to look at the screen every time and get those ones so I don't get those ones mixed up. But here it is, guys, on CLF. I don't have much size left. Nothing substantial whatsoever, but this trade has been working out really well for us, so we're not going to complain on that front. Let's do what we haven't done today, and that's going to be going over the top performing sectors, Sharif, of the session. And let's go Netflix. Come on, you can bounce, baby.
Let me guess, counter-cyclicals.
Yeah, probably.
Healthcare and utilities?
Okay, no, okay, so time out. What do you know?
I didn't even look, I swear to God.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah. Okay, give me your top three.
I just said, I don't know.
You said healthcare.
Yeah, it's counter-cyclicals.
Okay, you said, okay.
Typically what? Consumer technology,
tech,
and energy. I was completely wrong on all of them.
We're not that defensive today. But no, guys, in all seriousness, this consumer discretionary up 1%. We got the tech sector up a third, energy up a fifth. Now the bottom three, the consumer staples, not too good. Down about roughly around 7/10 there. And then we have the materials down 9/10, and then comm services down 8%. What has our friend Meta been up to? Wow, we're keeping our eyes out on that. We're going to have a lot of fun with it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what swing trade potentials pull up there. But now let's head over.
You didn't punch in yet?
No, I told you, I'm going to be patient. I think that I'm going to see exactly what I want to.
I'm close. I'm long at 55s. I'm comfortable with that level.
655s?
655.
That's prime. Yeah. You're real good over there, man. I wouldn't be worried about that at all. I wouldn't be worried about that at all.
Here too.
Yeah, no, honestly, Sharif, I plan on holding this one for some time.
Exactly. I think they're going to make him pay.
Yeah.
Because
absolutely.
Because here's the reason. He's not renting out his AI infrastructure investments, whereas the other hyperscalers are. So they'll realize revenue on it in a shorter time frame than he will. He'll have to actually either monetize it through new products or obviously make it up through digital ad sales, right? So I think he's going to be made to pay in the same way that he was made to pay. Maybe not to the same extent, obviously. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
And I think a lot of it has to do with the tax hit as well too. So
well said.
Boom,
Joey.
So Bang, you want to show them what we got, because I'm going to pull this up here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Show them what you got, Sharif. I'm going to get the options chain ready for
Joey. I got to show you this entry, bro. If you don't, I mean, I know you appreciate entries like this. Look at that entry right there. There it is, bro.
Zoom in on that, John.
Right.
Man.
There it is, right at the 10, man.
No, man, pull this down here.
Pull up.
Make this one. Okay, there he goes. Get in, get in there a little bit, man.
Yeah, man, here it is, though, Joe. 169. You know, if we're waiting in the 60s, where we are going to be waiting. It is a done deal. We take out the last little bit there at 69er, but that doesn't mean we're done this trade. The 10 EMA has now weaseled on up from $1.40, where it was previously, I should say, hanging out, and now it's hanging out at $1.45. So we're going to continue to ride trend on this one. Now, it's not only the 10 EMA off which I can enter. If I start seeing higher highs and higher lows, I'll base my trade up on that. So TGE is the one we all thought it was going to be. Why? I didn't even think about it, Joey. I just exaggerated.
No, that's
what are you getting hyped up over there?
We just took a little bit off on Netflix there as it's starting to climb higher. That's exactly what we want to see. So bang, bang, bang. All right, guys, let's get over to some of these options contracts here on our META. I was thinking about going with the leverage, but I would rather just go the actual underlying. I can pull up METU and FBL, and you can just see how obviously the effects of using a leveraged derivative and then using a derivative off of that is a recipe for disaster sometimes. I'm not saying that's necessarily going to be the case, but here it is at the money IV, starting to cool off. This is exactly what we want to see. Are they expensive? Absolutely. Like, you got to take into consideration, for one of these, it's $6,700. But that's essentially 10% of what you would pay if you bought the shares outright. Again, you don't own them or anything along those lines. You only have the rights to them for 137 days. You have to take that into consideration. Let's put our strategy builder on and just essentially just kind of game plan. What I've been doing all weekend is like, where's my entry? How much am I willing to risk, et cetera, et cetera? Which route are you looking to take? And for me, that's easy. I'm going to be taking this route, and that's why exactly we're pulling up the profile, and we're seeing everything that we got. This is going to tell us everything that we need to know. So if, say, we were going to use 640 as our stop loss, we're now trading at 652 roughly. That's going to cut this 640 is going to approximately, it's not even $1,000. It's $654, which isn't bad at all. But you have to understand that when trading meta, you have to be extremely precise on your entry, because a $10 fluctuation at the end of the day in a $700 name, $650 name isn't much. So your entry has to be pinpoint. And there used to be an individual that I used to trade with, not with him, but he was a part of a group anyways, highly intelligent, and he had a system called the pinpoint strategy. So essentially it is derived off what we look at from a volume price analysis standpoint, but his entries are so precise to the point where he's risking 5 or 10 cents, 15 cents, extremely tight risk on swing trades, which allowed him to have substantial risk to reward ratios, but it shot a lower accuracy. You have to understand that. But when he hit, he's putting up like 30, 45 Rs. And what do I mean by Rs? That's going to be per risk unit. So you're hitting 45 times of what you're actually risking. But the thing is, there's obviously a catch. The accuracy of that system is like 20, 30% at best, right? But you have that larger win. You take a lot of losses, but your wins are so big that it just wipes everything off of it.
Traders do that,
exactly. So yeah, he's really phenomenal at that.
Interesting.
But let's break down this profile once again, guys. We're going to be down around $650 at 640. Is this going to be the entry that we're looking for? I'm not sure. I want to be a little bit more patient on this front. We'll pull up meta from a daily standpoint and take a look at what we're specifically looking for. And these candles are starting to form. All right, so if we close, if this happens to close at 658 on the session, then that's phenomenal. But the more indecision prints and the longer that we hold 645, I like our chances at getting in on the lower end of the range. I think you have to take into consideration the fact that, okay, yeah, there's only a couple of these big names now that are off of their all-time highs, and that's going to be Tesla and Meta. Amazon just blew everything out of the water on its earnings report. Now let's worry about these two, down 18.9%. I like our chances. And I think if you buy that, well, I'm not saying for me personally, if I buy that contract 130 days out from now, it's going to give me a good opportunity to potentially fill half of this gap. And if you own multiple contracts, do the math. That's a good win. Adara, what do you got for us?
Keep an eye here in MSFT. Looks like another deal announcement. The company apparently launching a multi-billion-dollar AI infrastructure agreement with Lambda, as reported by CNBC. So again, CNBC reporting another multi-billion-dollar AI infrastructure agreement for MSFT. If I get more details on this, I will certainly keep you posted right away. Back to you.
Yeah, no, you guys are welcome. Go ahead, Sharif.
All right, TGE is breaking out. We're right back in at 71s. Just took 75s there. That's the high of the day. I was about to get back in the high 60s. I don't know why I hedged. I didn't want to give back. So let's see what this one's got now. So my move on this one is going to be continuation of trend. I don't want to see this one dip below like 1670, 69. We need to see this one breaking out aggressively. So now we're above, you know, that $0.50. Well, we're getting into that $0.75 with that. That's a high of the day. There's a seller here at 74. He's getting shaken. More hidden selling though coming in at 74 right as we were about to clear it. So watching TGE up 123%, looking for continuation into the 80, 75, 77 now. Good look here on this one. Let's wet the beak there. And now we're going to take out the prior area and we're going to hold here, Joey, for that mid 80s move. There's 80 showing up. Good look now on TGE. The breakout's on. You got higher highs and higher lows essentially since you breached 140 momentarily into 138. Since that time, you haven't had a candle to make a lower low. That's what I'm trying to say there. So good continuation here on TGE. Keep your eye out on this one. Now, NUAI, I kept saying, you know, look, this was a very flat bottom breakish, and I still happen to feel the same way. This one did lose VWAP, but you're not getting that sort of very classical flat bottom break action. And here's what I mean by that. I mean, typically when you hold VWAP this strictly, like NUAI has, look at that 1030 hold, 1035, 45, 50, again at 10. You got it at 10, you got it at 15, you got it again at 25, then you got it again over here, 30, 35. Then you actually had a loss of VWAP, which hadn't happened before. Even the wicks were holding up at that level. So I was expecting sort of an aggressive candle, much like this one, but to the downside. So like that 945 candle I'm circling there, but to the downside. Maybe not as aggressive to the downside, but something similar to that. That's what typically what we see when we get all these lower highs with a flat bottom that got defended umpteen amount of times. You're not getting that though. It feels like you may, you know, get an incremental move down. So I don't even want to look for shorts on this one. Now this is a pay for shorts type setup on the floor over here. So yeah, if you're with real trading and you're on P8, you're definitely going to need to secure shorts on this one. It's not really my move. Or kind of my methodology to short these small cap gappers. I mean, I did for a very short period of time, but you know, I like going more long. So that's NUAI. Now I'm gonna keep my eye here on TGE as we work right back into that high of day. This current 5-minute candle has a low of 72, a high of 75. So it feels like it might be testing that 180 high that we just put in there. Prior bar low takes us to 157. So a bit of a chasm between the current price action and the area low that should influence your decision as to whether to get in and your stop placement. Adara.
I do have some more details here in this Lambda deal with Microsoft. They actually involves Nvidia as well. So Lambda, which according to its website is a super intelligence cloud, which builds gigawatt scale AI factories for inference and training. Making, again, that deal with Microsoft. Microsoft going to be launching a multi-billion-dollar AI infrastructure agreement with the company, and this was, again, reported by CNBC. Now, further details here. Apparently, as part of Lambda's agreement with Microsoft, Lambda will be deploying AI infrastructure powered by NVDA. So there's also an NVIDIA component to this Lambda-Microsoft deal, again, as reported by CNBC. Back to you.
I gotta show them this, Joey. I hope some people took this, guys. I tried to keep pounding the table and telling you guys about Bloom Energy. Another 8% day, Joseph, as this one works into all-time highs, guys. Bloom Energy is him. Okay, it is the one. And I mean, for now anyway. And I'm super happy. Like, so Bloom Energy is obviously very, very expensive, especially relative to where it was, you know, earlier in the summer, 20 bucks, 15 bucks, Joey. Now it's $145. So, you know, I'm like, well, maybe this one's exhausted the entire move. What are some alternative plays? And that piece of crap, Plug Power, kept coming up. And I couldn't be happier that I stayed away from that hot garbage because it was setting up quite nicely. But true to form, just like it did to me last time, it did this. Look at that move into 475, then all the crap started coming out right there, right down into 275. Now, here's the deal. This area is an important area of technical support. Look at that breakout area. It also happens to be the 50 on the 5. I'm not trying to advocate for a long into Plug Power. I'm just calling them how I see them. But Bloom Energy is him, all right? Right back down into the 20. We added into that position, and I couldn't be happier. Now, The deal is I'm going to ride Bloom Energy until there's an obvious break of trend. I see it the way I see it. This thing has done very well holding up the 20 moving average on the close, not on the wicks. So by definition, that will necessitate me to wait until the end of day before getting out of Bloom Energy, because I want to base it on that closing print. And we haven't gotten really any closing prints breaking that 20 EMA. And this one is breaking to 145. I think this is all-time highs, Joey. I'm just going to do a quick monthly. It's not even close, bro. It's not even close. Even the pandemic prices weren't even close. We're at $45 high. We're $145 high a day today. So Bloom Energy is him, and I hope some people took that trade because it is it's been doing real well over here. All right, back to TGE. There's the high entrance into the high of the day again. 177, 175. We have a higher low on this candle, but we can't breach that 180. That is 180 up there. I'm looking at that's a high of the day on TGE, up 125%, Joey.
Absolutely. All right, guys. So I think I maybe I made a little bit of a mistake here on NFXL, considering. So I did get out at that break-even stop, just following the rules. But I think I could have held it a little bit longer, or gave it a second entry here. So I'm going to wait for that pullback. If we get that 444 level to hold, then I'm going to be right back into it. All right, guys. So what you're doing, Steph, bro. Okay, what do you think about swinging calls in AMK? Oh, I know. Oh, that's crazy. I think I kind of get your thing. What do I think about calls in AMRK? Yeah. All right, I'm not even familiar with AM. MAKR. Amcor Technologies. Okay, this thing has been pretty. Pretty good on an intraday standpoint. We can't complain. It was from you. Best advice I ever heard was from you. What was that, my friend? Iggy Sosa? I'm curious to know. Let me know what that was. Because nothing, that'll make someone's day too. Best word of it. But I don't know. I wouldn't go that far anyways. But yeah, let's take a look at this thing from a daily standpoint. Never early when you fall. Never early when you fall. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there you go. Exactly. So if you just follow your rules, you can't really complain. This is looking pretty good if you ask me. Amcor Technologies, I wouldn't complain about this whatsoever. Off of those April lows, you're $14. You're over 100%, 160% just like that, man. As quick as you'd like, Sharif, on that one. So continue to hold until that trend line breaks. That's what Sharif was saying with BE, right? He's like, I'm in this until that trend breaks. And I think this is going to be the exact same thing. I want to take a look at BE for myself, just so I can just pour salt in the wound and be like, yeah, you know what I mean? Because everybody likes a little self-inflicted pain, I guess, here and there. But June, yeah, this thing is insane. Wow, yeah, it's some great stuff, man. It's some great stuff.
Bro, it's crazy. And I got to shout out Money Mitch, man. Yeah, because he brought us this trade several times.
I think I heard him talk about it for
several times.
And then I got to pull over this, like.
And for the reason we talk about.
Yeah.
Which is not for, vehicles, and which is kind of what they were looking at initially, the hydrolyzer system. It's for data centers, and we know what the AI trade is like.
Well, that's
another thing, Joey. Right? I mean, if you the energy component, like we're just warming up, dude. You got a lot of people, a lot of people, not just Altman and everybody who's involved in that. But everybody's saying, look, dude, the compute, we cannot get enough compute. It's good. And how are you going to power that compute, my man? It's got to be energy.
I don't know. Are you comparing this to, is this the shovel in the gold rush or what? This energy
I don't know, man.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, there's so many ways of making, I think, solid trades and investments, not necessarily involving something that requires a GPU or CPU or stacks.
But it can be AI related at the same time.
But it can be AI related.
Caterpillar.
Exactly, right?
Joey, so I want to give everybody this one too.
Yeah, man.
So let me tell you about this company. And I don't have a position in it yet, but I want to work in the metals company. What does this company do, Joey? This company pioneers grabbing these nodules that are on the bed or on the sea, or on the ocean floor.
Yeah.
And these nodules have insane amounts of rare earth elements, the critical minerals that we all need for military, for AI, for everything else.
What's a nodule, though?
It's like a little ball.
Okay,
it's like a weird looking ball. I'll show you in a second. Naturally occurring, sitting obviously in a very hard area to mine, the bottom of the Pacific Ocean, as well as the Atlantic. Here's the deal. This company pioneered a method to drop these kind of bottom-dwelling robots to suck up these nodules and then send them up. The problem is they don't have the rights to do that. They're waiting on your friend Donald to open up those rates, right? So it's been running up, as you can see, it's up 500% on the year, but they haven't mined a single thing.
Waiting for the nod.
They need the nod for the nodule. They need the nod for the nodules. So I might weasel into this company over here. Now,
why not?
Here's the deal. It's obviously topping tail into 12, but as Neil was pointing out with respect to MP, because I'm obviously involved in that name as well, I'm going to be looking for a 200 move here. Now, I'm not going to wait to the 200. I'm going to be adding. But this TMC company could be, this could be a big
play.
I have no idea. You know, you have to do your own research on that. But
there's something going on with NVDA here because this name
when there is, there isn't, Joey. When is there not?
I know,
bro.
in all seriousness.
Here it is.
But there it is. It's breaking out.
I don't know if this is coming in now, but your friends at Nvidia told Fox Business Taiwan Semiconductor is an incredible partner for the U.S. Let's see what else. We got Evercore sees material upside. No, that's for Amazon. I'm looking live on CNBC. That's really all I see at the moment, unless Adara has something else. This is all I'm seeing. NVIDIA shifting production to most of its advanced AI chips to Arizona, marking a major step in reviving the semiconductor manufacturing, with CEO Jensen Huang crediting President Trump's push for technological independence and rapid action to reduce the reliance on China. The project completed with partnership with TSMC. Okay, it's just basically, this was yesterday, man. He told Sunday Morning Futures on Fox Business, so this is not even from today. So this is old news. I'm not seeing anything on NVIDIA, but yeah, I'm not really surprised either that it's moving because it just seems to be all gas, no brakes.
There goes
TGE's coming in, guys, into the 10 EMA. I want to say the 10 EMA on the 5 is at $1.56, but this is already losing trend. The first 5-minute candle will make a new low, printed at 11.55. So I'm not going to try to catch the bottom on this one. I'm going to see if we can kind of weasel back into maybe that 140 where VWAP is now. TSM, Julian, Diet Soda as well. TSM. I'm not talking about Taiwan Semi. That's certainly not what I'm talking about. I'm talking TSM, which is, TCM, excuse me. What the hell? Where is that? Okay, when we get back from Adara, I'll find it for you guys. I think I have the wrong ticker there.
It's time to talk here about this market. Here's the 15-minute chart for the Nasdaq. As you can see, trying to push a little bit higher after consolidating near these lows for much of the morning, though the market's still gapped up. We've had so much data center related news. With regards to Nvidia, I know this was just discussed. I did mention this about 10 minutes ago, CNBC reporting that Microsoft is launching a multi-billion-dollar AI infrastructure agreement with Lambda, and then as part of that Lambda agreement, Lambda is going to be deploying AI infrastructure powered by NVIDIA. That is one NVIDIA-related catalyst, but again, that's going back to about 10 minutes ago. I did mention it at the time as well. And another Mag 7-related piece, CNBC reporting that there's some speculation suggesting that Berkshire Hathaway's, of course run by Warren Buffett, at least for now, may have cut their Apple stake yet again in Q3. That's all speculation, though. Keep an eye here on Palantir heading into earnings after the bell. 4:05 p.m. is the time for that. Neil and myself are going to cover those earnings live for you on the market recap. 4:05 p.m. we get Hims and Hers Health as well. That's going to be another name to watch here. Before we send you over to Neil and his lesson of the day, we're going to take a moment to take our friends at Oragenics, OGEN, because each year 3.8 million concussions are reported in the U.S. Yet there's still no FDA-approved treatment. NYSE-listed Oragenics, OGEN, is changing that with its first-in-class intranasal drug designed for rapid brain access. With the concussion treatment market projected to reach $8.9 billion by 2027, Oragenics is uniquely positioned to lead the way. Learn more. Schedule a meeting today with Oragenics, OGEN. Now, it's time, without further ado, to go over to Neil and his lesson of the day. So, Neil, take it away.
Thank you very much there, Adara. I can't really say it like the Trump thing, but you know, the lesson of the day, and I'll take an analogy from sports. Hey, baseball just ended. You got to have a short memory in sports because, I mean, ultimately, when the ball doesn't bounce your way or the shot doesn't fall the way you like it or you make a mistake the game before, you got to come back out regardless of how it worked out for you and be able to sort of perform, right? Like, it just doesn't matter. If you blow a game yesterday and your team's counting on you the next day, you got to show up and still be the same person. It's the same thing with trading too, like regardless of like the prior outcome. And a lot of times, the first thing that we should always tell ourselves is, you know, the market doesn't know what just happened to you. It's completely, unless you somehow fat fingered a trade, like I suppose, and there's certain circumstances where, yeah, the market knows. You fat fingered, you got a huge position. Yeah, the algos know you just happened to you. And that being said, that's a very rare circumstance. But most of the times, if you have a bad outcome, it's completely irrelevant to your next opportunity, even though it might not feel that way. So I'm going to give you an example of, you know, today, which, let's be real, in the morning, every once in a while it's going to happen. Like, I'm more of a trader that I'll be consistent. I'll be consistent because I'll win in like 3 out of 5 trades or something like that. And then you have good risk to reward and it all works out for you in the long run. This morning was that everything worked except for IBIT. And I was short IBIT, which is frustrating because, I mean, ultimately it ended up doing possibly the best drop of anything that I was looking at. And it was the one thing I like short, and you can see what happened. It kind of sucks. You know, we get in on the wrong side of the V, and when it broke down spectacularly. Now, you've got to remember like what it is that you're looking for as a trader and what is going to be your next trade. So not only did I miss the short, but as a mean reversion trader, when it went catastrophically down on massive volume, I've now missed the reversion, which was pretty much gold. Like, look at the volume spike down. It's an even dollar level. It spikes off 60. That's a pretty clean reversion. I'm a scalp person, so I'll usually get out a bunch there. So A, I've bungled the short by not getting back in here. B, I've then missed the reversion at 10:30. And then C, when it makes another bottoming tail just after we finish the morning show, I kind of take a hit here trying that spike when it fails the low of the day. So it's like lose, miss, miss, lose. Like, at that point, I'm like, my goodness, what am I even doing on IBIT? But right after I get out, here's what happens. It does a strong bounce off the low again, setting up a trend break. So I have to ask myself a question. Is this a trade that I take 10 times out of 10? Answer, yes. Does it matter that I've not had that I've basically the one stock that I couldn't read today was IBIT? No, it doesn't matter. Does IBIT know that I did this or missed that or lost? No, IBIT doesn't care. It's just downward trend, breaking the trend and riding its way to VWAP. It doesn't care what you've done. Sometimes the next trade is going to, or at least the next opportunity for a stock in a setup that works for you is going to be in something that maybe you didn't read right, or you just didn't execute right, or maybe you weren't watching it as much as you should have been in the particular moment of the trade setup. Whatever it might be, stock doesn't care. The only thing that matters is strategy and setup and then taking the trade. And it does require you to have a short memory, because I had just kind of messed up along off a bottoming tail candle. I'd just done it. I'm like, oh, that wasn't the bottom. That's not a clean trend break, and I took it. That's a bad read. And then I wait, maybe a minute or two later, and there it sets up. And at that moment, you can either, no, you could back away. And it's not saying it's completely unreasonable. You could say, you know what, I just don't have the read on this stock. But if it's a positive expectancy for you, and it is a core strategy, you've got to take the trade. It's just that simple. That's one thing I've learned over time. Traders that are consistently profitable do essentially 2 things really well. One is they take the trades that are positive expectancies almost regardless of how they're doing. They try to avoid the ones that are not, of course, that goes hand in hand. And then 2, they control their losses so that when they are wrong, they're not paying more than what they can win. Those are the 2 big things out there. And so oftentimes, right off a loss, or maybe right after you've just misread a stock, whatever it might be, you might see an A+ opportunity or an A opportunity come out there. You need to get to the point where you got that short memory and you're just jumping in because you know it's the right trade. The other side of that coin, however, that I'm describing to you, which is, oh, this is a positive expectancy, it doesn't matter what I've been doing, that's a good entry point. You have to make sure it's that and not just revenge. Let's imagine another scenario. Because let's imagine a scenario where I haven't had the read on IBIT, but I'm taking the long because I'm mad at myself and I think I should have had this long. And let's say I'm longing this dip, and I'm longing this dip, and I'm longing this dip, and I'm just buying into the bottom because I'm frustrated that I missed that turn. Like, you've got to understand the difference between wait, slam, and buy, hope it works out. There is a big difference between the two, and I will tell you this right now, most traders have a lot of difficulty figuring out that difference. And if you want to be consistent, there is a difference between being patient and waiting for your entry and saying, this better bounce, let me just go long into it. If you can find a way to make that work for you, congratulations. I've been doing it for 20 years, and I have yet to see anybody make that work for them. That's just me. But if you can have the patience to have an entry style, or a trading strategy, or an execution style, which does give you a positive expectancy, which does consistently work to the point that it's profitable over a long run, then it just behooves you to take the trade, regardless of what happened before. And that's why you put in the work to find something that works for you, so that you can have a couple of loses in a row and not care, because you know when this setup next happens, I'm just going to take it. Right? It was very similar on Tesla when this morning there was really nothing going on. It didn't really get, well, whatever. There was obviously the AMZN was okay, and Nvidia was okay, and QQQ ended up working out pretty nicely. But there was a moment where Tesla was the only thing setting up, and it set up in a reversion. And it wasn't like it was perfect, but it was the best opportunity. So you saw me just go to Tesla and wait for a chance to take Tesla, which I did. And so ultimately, that's what trading is going to be about. Just like in sports, you're going to win some, you're going to lose some, but the next bounce of the ball, the next opportunity does not care, does not know what just happened to you. It's up to you to get back on the horse, or get back on the trade, get that A-plus setup or A-plus setup, and when it's there, act like nothing happened before and just make the trade, because that's all it is. At the end of the day, it's all just points, and that's how you have to have the attitude towards it. If you start treating it as emotions and more than that, you're going to get yourself into a little bit of trouble there. So don't fight the stock, wait for the setup, hit the setup. And if you don't have the setup, come up with a setup and work on that, because that's what it's all about here. And hopefully we can help you guys do that. I know the Midday boys have their strategies. Sean and I, we have our strategies. And it's not that you trade exactly like us. It's that you find your own way, because every trader ultimately has to do that if they want to become profitable. So good luck rest of the session. Hey, Tesla might hold VWAP here. Who knew?
Go your own way. You can go your own way, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I like what Neil.
Absolutely.
I like what Neil brought up there. Just
dropping fire lately.
As soon as you start micromanaging, and that's what we were talking about a little bit, I believe, the other day, Sharif, is that ignorance is bliss, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is. So I mean,
I hate saying that.
Yeah, it's true.
Because it makes me feel like all the hours of analysis and reading just means bubbles. I don't want to believe that.
But some people are just like that, man. I know you have a couple of buddies who are like, man, you're definitely not the sharpest tool, but they're successful because all they know is that one thing, and it's just like, that's it. They don't know it. They don't know the opposite side.
Wisdom over intelligence, discipline over intelligence, any day of the week. They're compounding intelligence. You can be absolutely a genius, but you can be a dumbass
discipline
at the same time. Yeah, you don't have the...
Listen, it's the same thing. Like, I'm taking discipline and hard work over the talented individual any day of the week. Any day. Any day of the week, regardless of what it is. But guys, all right, Netflix continuing to grind higher. We got out of that one prematurely, but we're going to make it up for it here on AMZN. So a nice little bounce. I talked about following the volume. We didn't get the prints that we were looking for exactly, but we have this whipsaw move, in my opinion. You get that liquidity grab through some key support levels. You get that pre-market low at 254 to hold almost to the penny, and then sure enough, you're getting a little bit of a bounce right now. Are you going to adjust this trend line? Maybe a little bit, but you don't want to kind of manipulate it all the time. But volume steps in. I do like our chances of a bull flag pattern being formed there. Let's see if we can get that move. Tesla had an additional print as well, too, so we'll give Hesitation Nation on that one. No worried about it. And same with Netflix is starting to bite me in the rear here a little bit. All right, guys, $5. The Dawn Z. What's up, my friend? This one's for you, Sharif. Sharif, always extra confidence when to keep in a stock or watching, and then you say it's breaking out. Keep it up.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, you just get a feel for them sometimes. Now the next move, Joey, obviously is to size up after that. Shout out to RJ. $2 super chat. I'm assuming he's talking to you or talking to Neil. He's saying, thank you, sir. Dropping cash in the chat. Thank you very much for both of you. Oh, and the Dons, that's money, Canadian money, that is. So we're going to shout out Canada. Shout out to Canada. Joey, let's talk about TGE here, because we're back in. So this one bottoming tailed. Look at the 5-minute candle over here on the black charts. Like, look at this, dude. If you don't tell me people were buying up a storm over here, I won't believe you. And they were buying up a storm, so much so that this one ended up closing above the 10 EMA on the 5, despite looking like it was going to get to the 20. Now, here's the deal, though. It's rejecting off that very same area we've been talking about, this $1.65. Even though we've been to a $1.80, it feels like this $1.65 is where the real resistance lies. We had trouble with it, 11.35. We had trouble with it, 11.20. We certainly have trouble with it, 11.40. Here it is again, right into 165, 67s now, 68 showing up. Let's see, man, if we break out aggressively, we can take out the high of the day, which is 80, especially if we can close above 65. Only a couple of candles have closed above 65, and that was on the breakout at 45 and 50. I'm talking about 11.45 and 11.50. We got 57s, bless you, Ram, looking for a continuation at least into 75 before we wet the peak. Otherwise, we'll get stopped out at 54s. That's where my stop is. It's at current bar low. So the current bar right now at 12.10 has a low of 155. 155? Yes, 155. So I put my stop at 54. 67s now showing back up. Let's see if we can get a price spike into 70. 68's now showing up, Joey. Here we go, moving into 69er, or can we? 69er now showing up. All right, let's go a little bit more here, up 117%. Let's go, TGE. Can we get back into high day? Now, we've spent very little time at 180. Again, 3 candles in a row, either closed or opened at 175. So the same thing we were talking about, 165, I'm going to apply to 175, at least for the long. Maybe not as support just yet, but certainly for a resistance level. I'm talking about 175er, where we rejected right there. So packing my patience over here, Joe, on TGE, looking for continuation, but alas, we are going to zig and zag, and here comes the mid-60s, low 60s again. Going to have to make a decision whether we're going to add or whether we're going to wait for a trend break. What do you got?
Decisions is what we got, and we go through on a day-to-day basis, my friend.
Goodness
and
gracious.
what is this decision here? Yeah, I mean, but then again, if you start making too many, you're going to probably mess up a little bit. Anyway, yeah, exactly. I don't know why I got NVDA up here twice, guys. Let's change that up. This is exactly what we're looking at here on the day. Tesla, nice print at the volume, below the volume weighted average price, now running into the backside of this trend, or the front side of this trend here. Let's see how that reacts. Netflix has just been absolutely Keith Primo over here, so some good stuff. We like that on Netflix. Amazon potentially breaking out the wedge. So we got wedges left, right, and center around here. So we're going to keep our eyes out on them. IBIT.
Anybody heard that the wrong way?
We got wedges.
Wedgies left, right, and center.
Oh, no, wedges left, right, and center.
Obviously, I know you bet, bro. But
Yeah.
anybody heard that, you know, maybe they heard an E or something at the end there.
You know what that reminded me of?
Yes,
is
sir.
that, like, it was a thing in our family.
Yes.
I know a wedgie isn't the same, but we used to go around and see who could give the other individual the worst Charlie horse possible. And it was just our uncles just smashing on our thighs and stuff like that. It was crazy.
Oh, boy. Boys growing up,
yeah,
it's a different world, bro.
Different world. Adara, what do you got?
We get comments from Feds Daily. Feds Daily talking about these rate cuts, whether or not it was appropriate. She said that she believes the rate cut was appropriate and that she supported the rate cut. Now, this is only significant because even though we only had 2 dissenting votes, we had quite a few comments from Feds over the last few days, specifically Feds Bostic and Hammock, coming through on Friday, suggesting that they actually would have also supported holding rates steady. She did, though, note that the 50 basis points worth of cuts this year make the Fed better positioned and that she has, quote, an open mind on December, noting also that the inflation is still above target. So long story short, Feds Daily being a little bit mixed here, but still erring on the side of caution when it comes to December. We know that Fed Chair Powell on Wednesday said that the December cut is not set in stone, far from it. Back to you.
By the power of Grayskull.
TGE right back into 1.8er, 1.80. I don't know, bro. Leave me alone. All right, the good continuation on TGE, guys. Still, you know, having trouble clearing 180, but I would, you know, think that you're possibly building up a position here, you know, off the 20 where the money fills seem to be coming in for a $2 touch and drop would not be a bad strategy here. And here comes the bid stepping in again into 75, 77s now. Here's 78. Here we go, approaching HOD 79s, Joey. Could this be a breakout, or are the shorts going to put a damper on this party again? Monster seller at 80 over there. Can't shake that level. Here we go, 79 showing back up again. I just want to take a quicker look here at 80s to see what's posted on the gateway. But as we always say, it's not what's posted on the gateway with these small cap gappers. It's typically what's hidden, as most sellers, you know, when they're trading this kind of name, they will hide their orders so that's not to tip their hand. 80 again showing up here. The size getting decimated, Joey. Off the ask there into 83 we go. TGE is him right now, up 133%, looking to hit $2. 10 E, let me give you levels. 10 EMA on the 5, currently 162. 20 EMA on the 5, just a little bit ahead of the 150, 151, 152. Look, this has been a clean trend and drop off the 10 EMA. And what I mean by that is it's trending up, but it drops into key levels of support. We saw it over here with the 10. We saw it over here with the 10 and the 20. So base your levels off this. I mean, it is giving you the higher highs and higher lows. So if you're not, you know, too picky about this because you're sizing in substantially and any one move here on a penny could make or break your day, I would give it to prior bar low or prior area low, not prior bar low. So double bottom over here at 1130, 1135, that would be area number 1 for me. This bottoming tail hammer candle here at 1205, that's bottom area number 2 for me. So base your stops on prior area low if you can, if it makes sense with your sizing and your style. Otherwise, you know, you can continue to sort of just scalp as I'm doing over here into the area high. So liking how this one's looking. Shout out to Joseph Birch Music. Nothing wrong with having some fun. Yeah, it's kind of what I say there, man. What else we got over here? Shout out to Roland Joe. That guy in the animation got a wedgie. I don't know, bro. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I have no idea. You ask him, let me know. Ozan. Oh, do we have Shira? You know what, man? Sure. My dad's best friend, may he rest in peace, had a dog that's name was Shira. And so I didn't even know what Shira was until, you know, obviously I didn't know the character Shira until later. I just knew the name. So yes, Shira is obviously another superhero in Batman. Here we go, guys. Another high a day right now on TGE, 183. But look at the selling come in right into 183 as quickly as we move down into the high 160s, but getting bought back up. Still, this 5-minute candle does have a higher low than its predecessor, so be on the lookout there for trend continuation. Thank you, Ozan. I appreciate you there, brother. Ozan, the OG, doing it live in the chat. Always making us chuckle, but he's a good trader as well, man.
Absolutely.
Is that Nate?
Who's who?
Nate? You don't know who Nate is?
No.
That's Ric Flair.
That's that's
Ric Flair. His name is Nate.
Is it
the Nature Boy?
Oh, the Nate. Oh, the Nate. Okay, all right. All right.
What's going on over there, Joey?
I knew he was called the Nate, but hey, I don't know who this guy is here. Who's that?
It's probably a guy that took a picture with Nate.
Him. Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. Maybe Jay Bronson there, who tagged me up in there, meeting the Nature Boy, which is pretty cool. Ozan, yeah, I just replied, Havana Woody. I'm glad that everything is good on your end, my friend. Would you please Okay, I can't go through all of these right now, but there goes.
I like it. I like it. Look at this, guys. This is the Jumbotron right here. We're just doing tests and stuff.
Can we put, let's put the options chain up there.
I like that. Options chain, this guy,
yeah, bro. That would be so sick. That would just be like, yeah, all right, I'm grabbing this, and this. But no, in all seriousness, guys, a nice little steady grind to the top side up there on on Netflix. We're out of that one.
Joey, I want to stand beside the Jumbotron here.
Just to get a.
Give everybody an idea.
Well, I'm going to take a picture. Ram. Get the camera ready, Ramit. Look, this is there. Yeah. Get over there. Look, just the. It's a movie theater. It's a movie theater screen. It's absolutely massive. I love you too, Hangry Wife.
The angle, or is there no other angle?
Yeah, he's got it. There we go. Bang.
Oh, look at the size of this thing, dude.
Sheer size of it.
Takes me a little bit of time to walk back and forth.
Look, show's going to be over by the time Sharif gets back. That's how big it is.
Yo, Fabian was tripping. I'm like, all I'm doing is walking in front of it, brother.
He's
like, I'm working on it.
Oh, he's working on it. Yeah, you let the man work on it. He needs to do his thing over there. All right, guys, let's take a look at some other names on what we got going on. We've been going through Amazon, Netflix, Meta throughout the session. Tesla rejecting the top end of that range. You can see that right here on TSLA. Boom, there it is, right into the trend line. And then, oopsie daisies, back to the downside there. Let's go over some of the volume prints on the session, guys, to see who's leading the way. We don't want to pull that up. The more we look at it, the more hair you lose by the second, so we just don't want to be doing that. Let's head over to the stock screener, CanView. There it is, guys. Going that cash deal buyout right there. I think Neil was talking about it not too long ago. TSLL with 96 million shares. Cypher, what is this thing? Has it done anything out of the open?
Very nice.
Yeah, that looks. Is that this? Is that? Yeah, it is.
Of course it is. Tesla #1.
No, I was saying, is that the city? Like, is that actual true? Yeah, and then I've seen the CN Tower there. Oh man,
I know what that is, Ram.
Look how cool.
She starts pointing at the CN Tower, dude. She's fantastic,
Seattle.
dude.
No, look how cool that looks right there.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? That looks like a stage almost. That's pretty cool, man.
Great, dude.
Fabian, yeah, that looks pretty wicked. Once we get that other one up and going, then that's going to be a good time for sure. Messing around, do the rundown, get to do your rundown on that and everything.
Brendan's already said, I mean, as much as we can, we need to use this board.
Use this thing?
Yeah, and you know what? Can I tell you something? I was watching Bean Sports, not on IPTV or anything like that, Joey. I don't want you to get... Yeah, Bean Sports. Do you know what that is?
No.
Okay, so it's like the biggest sports kind of network in the Middle East, as well as in Europe as well, right?
Okay.
One of the biggest.
Yeah.
So they have a lot of soccer, so naturally I watch them. So they had like a monster jumbotron, and the two guys are sitting there using it. So I'm like, let me watch how they use it. So that, when I go on there, I don't look like a complete amateur.
So give us a one pointer for those.
So basically, you know, as simplistic as it gets, you put one person on each side with the like middle data, and then they're obviously talking about the data. Obviously, with sports, it's a little bit better because you can have sort of...
You can have like a replay going on or something like that. Yeah, no, that's cool stuff, man. For sure. I mean, there it is, potential print to the downside on NVDA. A little bit of buying pressure still stepped in. I know we were going through some volume names. We'll get back to that momentarily. Meta coming back in south of 650 there, so we like that. Continue sell, give us an indecision print, and then we'll be able to get involved in that one. So yeah, let's go through a couple more names. What has American Airlines been doing today? It's on our session, indecision right there and just off to the races, so not too bad. It's the battery name here, QuantumScape. Boom, 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 all the way from 18 to 1586 there. And then IBIT did get a recovery back to the volume-weighted average price, but you can see the selling pressure step right in immediately, straight away on that front.
Straight to
Sharif, what do you got for us?
And now, guys, for some exciting news out of Canada for sophisticated traders on the stream. Beta Pro by Global X Canada. That's Canada's largest provider of leveraged inverse and inverse leveraged ETFs. They've just launched 6 new triple leveraged ETFs. They're offering you guys 3 times bull as well as 3 times bear exposure to things like the S&P TSX 60, semiconductors, and on U.S. Treasuries. And if you're looking for even better, they're offering a special fee rebate. What are they doing? They're dropping the management fees down to just 65 basis points, Katina Man, all until December 31st, 2025. Yes, New Year's Eve. Plus, the U.S. focus strategies, they use currency hedging, which offers the potential for pure performance as well as exposure. So, if you're a tactical, sophisticated trader and you're looking to amplify your performance, then you need to check out betapro.ca/3x daily, Joseph, to learn more. You can scan that QR code that's on your screen right there.
You do that.
What easier way to do it than that exactly? Yeah, so I wasn't here this morning, sadly, so I was at the dentist, so I didn't get a chance to prepare the morning note. So for everybody, I'd like to apologize about that as well, obviously, and that we won't be able to do the news segment with my notes. Hopefully, we'll be able to do it with Adara's watch list, so we'll get to that in about maybe 15 minutes, half an hour or so. We'll see exactly what the market's looking like then.
Yes, so let's see exactly what we got over here, Joey. So here's what I got. Okay, so we're not in anything at the moment, but TGE is coming right back into that 10 EMA that we've picked it up multiple times at. That's at $1.62. That's where the 10 EMA is hanging out right now, and it's continuing trend. If you were to get in here and it was to lose the bid, my out would be the $1.50. 50 pennies has to hold sort of to ride trend. The reason I say that, not for the psychological level of support, but look at that hammer candle that closed at 12.05 off which we got in. That does, defend 50. So if it loses 50, I wouldn't want to be holding into another lower low. So TGE still looking the best for me here. I hate to keep talking about it, but there's really nothing better than TGE right now. MSPR, I got involved in this one quickly, right into that 90 penny area, but it dropped super quick down into 80. So I'm done trusting this one. This one feels like the best trade is behind it. And if you look a little bit further, we're still putting in generally lower highs. So the trend is still very much intact, and that is to the downside. 75 pennies is where VWAP is, and it feels like if 75 pennies gives way, then we're going to see 50 pennies, maybe 60 quite soon, as this one could be another flat bottom break. And another flat bottom break candidate we gave you earlier, NUAI. Now this one, Joseph, look at this one. Respect for VWAP as support, and then look at how it's respecting VWAP as resistance now. Isn't that fantastic? So VWAP playing into NUAI bigly over here. Whether you want to take it long or short, that is up to you. But TGE is getting a bounce again off the 10 EMA, and there it goes into the low 70s. Let's see if it can test 75 pennies again. It's holding trend, man. So this is not a bad look right now. I don't think the best trade is behind TGE, at least right now, Joey, as we are a lot closer to the day's highs than we even are VWAP, let alone the day's low.
Absolutely. All right, guys, for too long, trading meant risking your own money or never having enough to start. The fear of losing, that's what kept so many traders on the sidelines. But that's changing. Trade the Pool is transforming how traders access the markets. With its limited risk trading model, traders are funded capital while Trade the Pool absorbs the downside. This allows traders to focus on what truly matters: discipline, consistency, and growth. When you hit the profit target, you keep 70% of the profits. I had a feeling. I don't know, man. I'm saying I'm avoiding this at all costs.
We're gonna put it there for
listen. I'm a man. I'm honest.
Are these Halloween colors? These are kind of Halloweeny,
right?
Yeah.
Like, what are you getting? What are you grabbing over there, Sharif? Which one you want?
You know what,
this
Joey?
one right
I'm not
here?
touching any of them. But are you gonna have any?
No.
You're not gonna have.
No.
If you have part of this glazed chocolate one over here, I'll participate.
You know what? I'm not gonna fall to peer
Neil's like, is there a bear claw here? Where's the bear claw?
Here, grab this one there, Neil.
Apple fritter, my bad. My bad. Yeah, apple fritter.
Neil, I'm waiting on my
Ram.
I'm waiting on my.
Which one's it gonna be, Ram? What do you got, girl? That's
no
crazy
way.
Right there. You need a napkin because that's gonna have all sorts of red stuff there.
Which one did you get there? That one has jelly in it for sure. I never liked the icing-filled donuts.
She's calling Joey weird, bro.
Ram not weird. Not weird, just weird AF.
Yeah, if we get a knife, Joey, you know what? I'm going to take a piece of that chocolate glazed over there.
You may as well just do it, man. Do the whole thing.
Joey, we sesh this morning.
Yeah, so you can afford to eat the whole thing.
I hate Brendo. He always does.
That was crazy.
I know. He just like slammed it down.
He knows what he was doing too. He's like,
oh man.
Wow.
He knows exactly.
Did I even finish the ad?
I don't know.
I don't think I did. No, I got distracted. I got distracted, man. The attention span of a child apparently. But anyways, never been one to. Okay, anyways, all right, sports and stonks. Don't do a pie equivalent. No, but now we got this box of donuts here. Anyways, aside from that, guys, Trade the Pool. I hope everyone does limited risk trading. Everything's all right on that front. There goes NFXL and Netflix in itself. That was another one that we should have held on to a little bit longer, but shoulda, coulda, woulda. That's what if history. Now up to 45.12. We were in at 44.40s, and we had 66% of the position that we were looking. Then we got stopped out right there on the break even on Amazon, but this is just a steady grind, man. This was a really nice trade. That would have been big time, but we don't live with what if history around here. We only do for certain there, Sharif. But we're starting to break trend here on Amazon. That's looking pretty good. Getting a bounce in the overall market. I mean, if you look at some of the semis, NVDA was chopping around until lunchtime today, and then eventually it decided to break out. And there it is. The longer the consolidation, the bigger the move you're going to get, and you punch through those those resistant level highs. So that's a pretty good look there on that name. And then as for the Qs in the SPY, it's a little bit tougher of a look in the morning, a lot of overlapping candles. You get that initial selling pressure, but then now essentially hasn't done too much since that point, Tree.
All right, guys. TERN. Been trying to ride trend with this one. Look, I missed the entrance, obviously, on this one. A double bottom into 15. Looking for continuation, though, into 15.75. It's back above the 10. This one is spready. Right now, it's 5 pennies. It's not bad, but I've seen it open up a little bit wider. TERN, it's up 57%. Sorry, 88%. What am I saying? And possibly looking for more over here. TGE, though, is feeling like it's getting a little top heavy, because this is us right back into the 20. We're at 156. Prior area low is what I mentioned is like basically that 50 penny area. 148 technically to on the dot is what that is. So we'll keep an eye out on that one. But I really don't know how I feel about these small caps right now. It feels like they are giving back a little bit over here. TGE trying to hold up above the 10 right now, or sorry, the 20, just wicked into the 20, getting a bit of a bid. We're at 57s. If I give this to 50, then I think we might have something. So I'm just going to punch in over here, and we're going to give this one to about 50s. So if it loses the bid, it loses the bid. Sorry, just let me post over here. There we go. We're going to give that one to 50s. What else we got? Oh, we already got pushed out of our TERN trade. Already got stopped out. That was not good. So we'll let that one cook again. We'll see if this one ends up making another newer high. Or sorry, a higher low, excuse me, from the prior candle. So we'll pack our patience on that one. And we'll keep an eye on TGE here. We've got 59s, looking for another move and possibly into 70s. It's another bounce off the 20, but you never really know how this is going to be. So we'll keep an eye out on this one as, you know, these ones start dropping in volume a little bit. Thomas Kondo, I'm taking that trade with you. I think we hit $2 today. Brother, I've been in and out of this one all morning. I'm just worried about this one losing trend. And trend to me here is the 20. So here we go again. We're not really rocketing up into the 60s like we did prior. You know, we would hit the 20, and then you'd see an aggressive bid step into it and kind of propel this one up super quick. That's not really the case here. But, you know, we are in a different time of day, so let's not expect the same type of price action when, you know, the underlying is a little bit different. So that's what I'm looking at. TGE over here, I think. Oh no, thank you, Brendo.
There you go. He's doing us a favor.
Yeah, there you go. He got rid of it.
Out of you,
good,
man.
good. Because we didn't need the.
You almost fell victim to the.
All falls down.
Ooh, just like that.
Here we go, Joey. We're going to get back into TERN over here as this one does hold prior bar low. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to give it to prior bar low. Prior bar low is 33s. So let's go ahead and do just that. 32s it goes, and we'll give it all the way down. All right, nice price spike up. We got 48s, showing me 56. Let's see if we can wet the beak there, but that's not what we're involved in this for. We're not asking for pennies here. TERN does move a little bit more aggressively than some of these other small cap gappers, but that means it can do both things, both aggressive moves to the high side and the downside. So looking for continuation back here on TERN, up 88%. There goes TGE right back into the mid-60s. We got 59 on this one. Let's post here at 69er, and then we're going to wait at 77s. Looking for continuation on this one. Does have a higher low, this candle. The 1235 candle does have a higher low. The issue is, though, it feels a little bit like it might be using the 10 EMA on the 5 as resistance. That ain't the move. So we'll keep a very close eye on this one. There goes it above the 10 EMA into 67s. Get it, Katina, man. We're waiting for 69er. We're seeing 68 come in over here. No prints coming on the time and sales right now at 69, so we will not get printed. But we'll pack the patience here. We got 59s on. Let's see if this one wants to run up back into the high of day, which is 183. Shout out to Thomas Kondo. I hope you're printing up several storms on this name.
on your side of the screen there. We're going to shout you out and hope you do quite well. Still waiting here for print on TERN. I'm waiting, I believe, at the midpoint on 55s. It's showing me 55, but we're not getting printed, so we will have to pack the patience on this one. But I do like how it's holding prior bar low. So again, prior bar low, that 1230 candle has a low there of 33s. This current candle has 40, and it doesn't look like we're going to get the print as the bid drops off a little bit there. So we'll pack our patience on that one, Joey, and we'll report back. Oh, wow, what a move up. So we get the print at 55s. Now the high, 62 over here on TERN, looking for continuation above the other previous area crest, excuse me. That crest is 65 pennies. So let's see if we can get above said 65 pennies, and then maybe we can gap up into 16, not gap up, trend up, excuse me, into 16. Let's see what we get on this one, Joe.
All right, brother, good stuff there. All right, nice bounce.
There's a rune in the chat?
A nice bounce off of the lows there in IBIT. Okay. Once I sold those contracts, or sorry, I bought them back, I should say, because I'm selling. I did sell down here if I was a little bit more patient, but I just said, you know what, Bleak, let's just do what we got to do, write those contracts, and hopefully we can profit off that. Nice work, Katina, man. Long 202 there on Palantir. We like that right off of those lows, man. 201.85, approximately the low of the day. So that's pinpoint right there. We like seeing that stuff. Netflix continuing to grind higher, grinding, and there it is. A nice little thing. That's where you got to hold just a little bit longer. Joseph, stop being Devin Haney. Devin Haney is not the guy. Obviously, he's extremely successful, but we don't like him. We don't like him. So there's that there on NFLX, guys. A nice grab off of those lows. What were some of the other names that we picked up on today's session? It's October through the 31st. It didn't work out on that one. Let's get this one out of here. That's frustrating.
Get that garbage out of here.
Get that garbage out of here is right. Now, as for Palantir, we like this at the 5-minute, heading right towards, I think it is that opening price right now. So that's not too bad. 205.09 is going to be that opening price. So yeah, let's go back to our volume scanner. We'll run through a couple of names to see if we can pick anything up and that we like. So all right, sorry. And there it is. As for the NFLX, or sorry, the scanner. Going to SoFi, I was looking at this one here. Oh, what the hell did I had an order out there on something? I have no idea what it was. We got to go back and take a look at that. So hopefully we don't have any outstanding orders there. Palantir, not too bad there. Putting in 30 million shares on the traded QBTS. There goes CLF. Cleveland Cliff starting to climb a little bit higher. We were long this name all morning, and then we got out right at the volume-weighted average price. So pop. Accidental add there, and then sure enough, we take that last bit out right here at 11.75. So shout out to Cleveland Cliffs. I know there was an imbalance the other day, so that's why I popped up on the scanner, and I was kind of interested on that one, or intrigued, I guess you could say. Clean Spark, what are you up to? Not too much, Sharif. Okay, so we see this on Clean Spark. We like that one. Now, let's head over to the Algo to see if this bad boy picked up. CLSK, and if it did, it's over with, brother. It's over. And this is what I'm talking about, man. This is crazy. Hold on, where's my... yeah, there it is, man. Some good stuff, some automated stuff. Just eliminate, essentially, like, let's try to eliminate, what I'm doing with this is just eliminating the subjectivity, obviously, within my trading. You just want to be more... what is it, quant-based, I guess, and just let the system work. Hit those 2-to-1 profit targets and not micromanage the position in between. November 3rd, that is going to be today. It picked up that signal right off of the lows. Did it close it? Yeah, it did. So it hit the, oh, no, it didn't. No, it's still outstanding. So what we're looking for here, we can always adjust what we got going on in the settings to see what it is. Yeah, so what I did is that I found drastically, when I changed this from a 2 to a 9, like a 1.9 risk to reward ratio, you don't make as much, but what happens is it hits a lot more targets. So around that like 1.8, 1.9, things start to turn around is what I'm finding with this specific script. So I changed that to 1.9. At one point I had it at 2.5. But again, obviously your winners are bigger, but it's less frequent, and it really drastically cools off the risk to reward. So there it is, winning trades. You're shooting a 50% accuracy right there on this one. What's the profit factor on that one? 2.64 is an absolute amazing profit factor. So we'll take that all day, every day. The list of trades, once again, 50%. This is a big one, September 24th. Let's head over there to see what it picked up. And it displayed the candle and everything along those lines. And there it is, bang, a nice little trade on that front. Man, oh man, a little bit of FOMO on Netflix, but we won't complain. We'll head back over to our scanner to see if we see anything that we really like. What has Mara been up to? Marathon Digital. I don't think the Algo would pick that one up. Not going to tell you why. Soundhound. There it is. Soundhound. We did that one. QURE. What are you? And then, okay, TLT. That's it. Apple, one more there. Oh, maybe. Let's see. No, I don't think so. Nope. Rivian, what has that been up to, Sharif? Not much. Joby, I know someone likes Joby. I mean, from 17 up to 16. I mean, it's not too bad, is it?
I mean, it dropped.
The sky isn't
still right. It's consolidated.
That's good, right? As long as you hold up that base, you're still in play right there. There's TERN. This was what Sharif was talking about earlier in the session. Take a look at those 5-minute prints straight to the top side, my guy.
Yes, sir. I'm back into trend as well, looking for a 20 hold. It keeps, bouncing down into the 20. So I've given this one a prior bar low. Let's see if it can price spike up and stop making me look bad over here. TERN. We're also into a new one, guys. DTCK. Looking to ride trend on this one, looking what the beak at 56 is. DTCK is up nicely, 36.37%. It's having trouble clearing this mid-50s, mid to high 50s area. I'm in the low 50s for a hold on, but I do have a plan to DCA into about 45. I've got my profit taker, or sorry, my DCA, excuse me, at 46 to front run the 45 level print. That also happens to be the 10 EMA on the 5-minute chart. So we'll see if this one can price spike up. There's been a seller at 55 or 56 for a hot minute. And we've been passing this. I even saw 57s, but I didn't get the print. So it looks like it's an area of illiquidity here causing the lack of profit taking. Back to TERN, we're showing 52s. I got 48s. And I'm looking for a hold of prior bar low. It'll have to hold prior bar low, otherwise I'll get stopped out. Looking for a hold of the 20. That's my move on this one, but it doesn't seem to be forthcoming, at least for the moment. TGE is the one that we've been talking about all day, and this one is starting to lose trend. Double top, very similar areas at the double top, low 180s, and here we go. We lost the 10. We lost the 20, and now we're on the way down, at least it seems this way, to 145. We're at the $0.50 now, so you'll get a momentary stop as maybe, the shorts take profit into that psychological level of support or resistance, depending on what side of the equation you're looking at this from. But I want to bring your attention to this hammer candle right here that printed at 1205. That is a 148 area low. So if we lose this hammer candle, then the buyer who's stepping in there is no longer stepping in. So you'll need to look for a different buyer, possibly at the volume weighted average price at 145. That's what I'd be looking for personally. Nothing else for me to do other than to hold TERN and DTCK, looking for trend continuation on both. If you guys see any new ones, let me know. Jameson saying BMNR, that hot garbage is pumping up.
Just looking at it. That's crazy.
I was complaining about this one. Look, man, I'm out of the money on this one, but that's okay. I just don't want to be in the position where I'm thinking about putting it into my long term because I'm out of the money and on my swing. No, I will take the hit on my swing, come hell or high water. I won't start DCing into this. And if I lose money on the swing trade, I lose money on the swing trade. And if it sets up a better way, we'll get in. But I'm not going to be dollar cost averaging into an oblivion because I don't have that kind of conviction between BM and R. Most of all, I also have ETH in my long term. So I don't want to double that position with a much more, sort of volatile name, especially because it is so leveraged. I know they don't leverage in terms of, they're not running debt to buy ETH. They're buying it with equity, but you see what I'm saying, though. It's a kind of like almost a leveraged product. We got to take a pause for a second. We're going to Adara at the big desk.
Keep an eye here on TMC and basically any of these other rare earths plays. Now, this headline I'm seeing is not super detailed. I If I get more details, I'll let you know. But I'm seeing that the Commerce and the Pentagon, or Commerce Department here in the Pentagon, are reportedly going to be funding and potentially taking stakes in a U.S. rare earth magnet maker central to the China trade war. Now, if there is a specific name here, which is the wording of this headline kind of implies, I don't see it yet, but it looks like there could be one of these rare earth magnet names getting some kind of U.S. government interest. If I get more details, and like I said, if I find out which of these names it might be, I'll certainly keep you posted. But either way, this report going to be on watch here for any of these metals and rare earths plays, including TMC. Back to you.
Yeah, what's the irony, Go, is we talked to you guys today about TMC. We explained, what they're doing with the ocean floor, this, that, and the other, the nodules. Look, it's a really, really interesting company. They're from Australia. They got a really interesting leader. Make sure you are doing your due diligence very thoroughly before you punch into this for the long term or a swing or anything like that. But it is very novel, and they do have a defensible moat here, which is basically they've pioneered pulling up these nodules from the ocean floor. From my understanding, not too much in the way of competition, but that's incumbent upon you to do your due diligence there to see what industry competitors there are, Joey.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, now I'm just looking at some puts here on META, guys, just for some potential writings here. Let's click on our strategy builder. I know, Ozan, you're in some, I believe you're thinking long some calls as well, too. Thinking about the put route as well, just kind of just going through some of our options. A nice recovery in Bitcoin. Maybe that's the, I'm not going to actually, I'm not saying that, but that's pretty good, right? Like, this is what we want to look at. And I want to, even though these are two different, very different names, I want to, there's a really key comparison here that I've been noticing quite often. So here, I'll make them a little bit bigger, and then we'll get right back to the options chain there and see what we got going on that front. But these are this is the comparison that I want to make between both of these charts, but just the similarities within the price action, obviously two drastically different things. Now, take a look at our volume profile here, guys, especially near the lower end of this chart. Obviously, you don't know it's going to be the low, but what we can notice is that on both occasions, before the price turns around, and I've noticed this for an extended period of time, and I actually implemented this within the algo, is that look at this engulfing candle before price turns around, right? So this is the engulfing volume print, and these are two totally different names, but then you get those indecision candles that you're looking for. Now, it didn't work on IBIT, but Netflix and IBIT, same thing. So before you get that hammer candle print, look at the size of the candle and the volume. Same thing over here. Look at the size of the candle and the volume. We can classify that as a genuine move, but we can also look at it as a potential stopping volume. What is preceded after that? Immediately you get those hammer candles. This closes stronger, so you can see that closes as a bullish hammer candle, and this closes as a bearish. One worked and one failed, and I think you can determine quite a bit from that specific signal. So when I see that, it's actually my fault that I didn't hold on to Netflix a little bit longer, considering the amount of conviction that I'm supposed to have within that trade. But you just learn from that stuff. So next time you see it, you have that engulfing candle print followed by that hammer candle. I think the probability is most definitely in your favor. Your risk profile is most definitely defined with the break of the low of that candle. And if it does, then so what? Be patient and then see if you can find another turnaround point. Look what happened in IBIT. It climbed right back towards the volume weighted average price once it did its a secondary fake out, whatever it may be. But it's correlating multiple things, and it's pattern recognition across the board. Now, let's go back to what I was kind of just going at here, messing around with some things on META. Now, if we're going to write some puts on this thing, so we'll go a bull put spread. So essentially what you do here is that when you're writing, so you can go 630, collect $1,400, but you want to buy a little bit of protection. And I think per contract combination, that's not too bad. That's a 5-point spread. There's obviously going to be a drastic margin account as well in there. I don't know what that was saying. So I don't know why this, okay, the P&L numbers are not solid lines. So yeah, let's wait for this to refresh, but you should be collecting a couple $100 on this here, which isn't bad whatsoever. And essentially what the thesis is saying is as long as by, oh, is that March? No, it's November. Okay, so yeah, we'll get that sorted out there. Here, clear all legs. Oh, okay, that's what we got going on. That was a big mess. Okay, so we'll start this all over again. We'll go back to the 630s. 1240, 1420 is what we're going to collect. 1265 is going to be our protection. And then sure enough, we'll pull that up. Essentially, you collect $155 per contract combination, but your probability of profit is around 70%, 65 to be exact. Now, your max loss is double that, so you have a 0.45 profit factor, essentially risk to reward on that. That's not good, but your probability is significantly higher. So that's the benefits of what OZAN is doing. You don't need it to appreciate it. You essentially just don't need it to go south of 630, and you get to keep all of that premium that you've collected on that contract combination.
You're gonna love in the chat for that explanation, Joey, man.
Yeah, I appreciate
good call on you there. All right, guys, still holding the same stuff. No difference here. DTCK looking for that continuation. It's dipping into the 10 though, but because of the spread, we're not getting filled at 46s. I think it did actually come into 46. We did get the print back into 52 ago, so we won't get the DCA there. Let's see if it does print up at 56. There was a seller of note here at 55. So I've been watching this one for a while, and it looks like there was some selling there at said 55 penny level. It's holding up off the 10 EMA on the 5 currently. TERN, we got a couple of prints on this one as it did pop up into the mid-60s. 69ers still no print there, and then waiting at 77s for TERN to kind of hold above the 20 and the 10 and to kind of weasel on up back into 1627, excuse me, is the high of the day currently on this one. TGE is continuing to sell off. So I want to address some of the comments over here. Thomas Kondo, going long TGE $1.52, aiming for $2, still think it can do it. This can do it, he says. Average before was 165, so we're in now at 155. Shout out to you, my man. I hope you you get a price hold here, because this is the volume weighted average price that we're currently at. Showing 144 on my chart, we're showing 143 in the price. So for me to stay long, these small cap gappers, they have to be trading above the volume weighted average price. This one is on the precipice of losing it. And what also concerns me, Thomas, I don't want to scare you out of the trade. That's not my intention. I'm just speaking my mind here. I don't like this double top and then a neckline break. So we know two double tops are not created equal. They look a little different. Sometimes have, areas of the top that are not the same price. For example, this one's 180 and the other one's at 183. But the point is, it's a double top nonetheless. What also concerns me is the neckline break, which is this candle here, 1205. You're trading below it now, and now you're breaking down below the volume weighted average price. This could be a bit of a retracement. Now, the measured move, users will tell you to measure from the top of the double top to the neckline break and then take that range from the neckline and project it down, and that's where likely you're going to end up or find support there. Whether you use that system intraday or not is really up to you. More people, I think, use that for swing than intraday because there's a lot of noise intraday. DTCK is losing, though, the bid here, and I have to be careful. So I did get the add in the 46s. My out is going to be the loss of the 20. The 20 moving average is at 37 or 38, can't quite tell. So what I'll do is I'll put my stop below 35 to give this one a little bit of room. Let me see if I've already got a stop on this one. The answer is no, because we just got in. So let's go ahead and throw in set stop, and then we're going to give it a little bit of room over here in case the bottom does drop off. So the one that we're looking at right now is DTCK. But I also want to bring your attention, of course, to the stock visualizer, Joey, because, if you're not voting every day, then what's going on over here? We got nothing to talk about on the afternoon segment. And right now, Tesla is leading the way forward over here. It's got 93 votes, excuse me. Tesla, is it the best performing mix? I haven't named that. No, that title goes to Amazon, then Nvidia, and then Tesla in number 3. SoFi getting a lot of love today, Joey, up 4%. It's got 56 votes. Nvidia, come on. We can definitely do a lot better than Nvidia. 34 votes for Nvidia. That's crazy talk like there. Let's get that up. Bull as well, showing its importance. 26 votes, and then Meta losing 650, Joey. It's got
27 votes. So get into the chat, throw in the dollar sign followed by whatever ticker your heart so desires, but throw it in there so that we know what you guys want to talk about. Otherwise, we got no idea and we'll have to fly blind, Joey. So make sure you guys are voting every day. Quickly here, right back to DTCK. This one popping up. Oh, nice move here on DTCK. We get 55s. We got 48s on, boom, into 60. It holds it like a glove off the 20 EMA. And there we go. A couple of shekels now off the high of the day, showing 60s. I'm waiting at 60, I think 2s or 1s there. So if it crosses, we'll get the print. Now we're going to obviously throw something at 69er because you know how that works. Nice move up here for DTCK. The only affliction that this one is suffering from is a bit of a wider spread given the name, about 5 pennies right now. Spread 57 on the ask, 52 on the bid. So you might have some problems getting initial fills, but for the most part, it is okay. TERN. Woohoo. Right back into my entry, Joey, right at that 20-period moving average. Now I'm trying to gauge whether we're seeing higher lows or we're seeing lower highs, which is typically an invitation for me to get the hell out. But I'm not seeing lower lows quite yet. So I'm going to pack my patience over here, look for another move into 75 pennies on TERN.
I love to hear it, brother. I love to hear it. There's XLF right there. Picked it up this morning. Beautiful print on that one. Meta. I don't know
Long-term or swing on that bad boy?
Me?
Yeah. XLF?
No, I was on. I'm talking Algo.
Oh,
yeah, I didn't pick any of it. No, I grabbed Selena XLF though.
Yeah.
A while ago.
Excellent, bro.
Yeah.
Excellent.
She doesn't even know. She's like.
What does she hold in the account if you don't mind?
Oh, bro, I had no problem. I set it up for her. She did. So we got the Amazon in there.
Okay. Great.
Walmart.
Okay.
And XLF.
Amazon, Walmart, XLF.
Yeah,
I like it. She's got a lot of retail in that.
Yeah. I mean, hey, put it in there,
They're
man.
both
You got
really
the
good.
Staples, you know what I mean? We get the Walmart in there, XLF.
Good call,
but she doesn't really understand the concept. She's like, oh, well, how come my Bitcoin and Ethereum one is up so much, and then all these ones aren't doing so good? I'm only up a couple $100, and I'm like. You have to put more in to make more money.
There you go, bro.
But anyway,
you're not gonna get her any of the indexes. Oh, you're not gonna punch in the SPY or the Qs or anything.
Oh, it's not that funded, man. It's not that big. I would love to, but you can't.
You can get partials though. What, she got IB? She have IB?
Yeah, you should get partials. She get partials on. Yeah, but what are you gonna grab like a third of?
Joey, do we need to do this again? Do we have to do it again, Joe?
What?
We're going to do it again.
Do it.
We're going to do it. We're going to go to the monthly on this, Joe.
Oh, yeah, I know.
The market goes one way, Joe.
One way, yeah. At the end of the day, it only goes one way.
Look at this thing.
Man.
Do you know that we're up 100% since the beginning of the decade?
Yeah, that's sick.
On the market, dude.
Yeah,
on the market.
On the overall market.
And that's just in 5 years.
I think,
right? Forget about looking even farther.
I think it comes to a point, Sharif, again, a risk profile, right? So I think just because of our age, we're a little bit more risk on, right? There's nothing wrong with building positions, obviously, in the SPY, in the Qs, but right now I think it's just like a little bit go individual equities. This is just my thought process, and then slowly build into that like SPY and the Qs.
Why not? What's wrong with that? Buy good companies, which is what you're doing.
Exactly, right? So that's all she set up with a couple of the good names. So yeah, not too bad there. We're in some meta here, guys, to see if we can get a bounce off of this hammer candle low. I like this setup here. So this is essentially what we're long off of. Not going to pick that up there, but that's pretty good. I like our chances. And I don't know, this name is just insane. We're only a couple dollars off of that previous all-time high now. Are we going to grind there? Let's take a look at our options chain to see if there's any overhead resistance or anything that I think is going to be extremely important on NVDA. If we have a call wall, then we can possibly call a top, but I don't think that's going to be the case here on today's session. 220. Yeah, okay, 220 might be in the works this week. That's crazy.
6-7.
Yes. What does that mean? What does that mean? Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I saw the sickest viral video.
Yeah.
It's these like little punk high school kids. They're like at I don't know. I forget what it was. It was like Papa John's or
something like that.
Or it's like Chick-fil-A or something. But we're at a thing where they call out orders by number.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming you can understand. So everyone's waiting for the order 6-7 to come on. They're like, oh
Soda 6-7. All going crazy because the 6-7 is
What is
coming
it
up.
like? What does it mean now?
Dude, I don't even know, man. I have no idea. It's what's it called, right? South Park? Raiden?
I don't know. Apparently
South Park did a bit about
it. Yeah, there is no meaning behind it, apparently.
It's not from South Park. It means 6-7, says Brian. I don't know, bro.
Nothing.
It's funny. The kids like it. They get all hyped up, and I just left chuckling about it. But
I'm pretty sure LaMelo Ball started.
it was in and out, so Bora saw it. Okay, so he knows what I'm talking about.
I'm pretty sure LaMelo Ball started that.
LaMelo Ball.
Yeah.
Did he actually?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he started like the whole 6-7.
And they always go like this, 6-7.
Yeah.
And then like there was this other video of a teacher going in. Does, but then yells out 6-7. The kids go crazy. And he goes into another room, yells out 6-7, and the kids go crazy.
That's crazy. That's
Get
crazy.
it.
All right, it's Skrilla, says Hangry Wife.
All right.
Skrilla, all right. Each their own. All right,
Adam James doesn't like it.
We're in some meta here, guys. This ain't working out how we would want. Okay, nice little bounce there, Sharif. We'll take that.
Joey.
A big-time recovery. Again, more of an expensive name, so you have to be really honed in on your risk here. Once it breaks this low, I'm out of this trade, and it looks like it's going to. But at this point, we're at the top end. We had multiple hammers across the board. This is exactly what we wanted to look. The rapid Skrilla started, and then the LaMelo Ball South Park blew it up. Okay, fair enough. Okay, I'm thinking Skrillex. I'm pretty sure that's that dubstep individual. But yeah, I mean, what's I bid up to? Still hanging around there. Take that down 4 figures nicely on that one. So, I mean, 4. Crazy. Shout out to writing options, man. Otherwise, I'd be, I'd be losing the head top day by day. Gonna take a little bit of a loss here on META. That's okay. I liked our chances on it for potential bounce. Doesn't seem that it wants to go. Yeah, Skrilla, not Skrillex. Yeah, I know Skrilla. I don't know that person. Hey, man, listen, I'm not in the 20s anymore. I'm not in on all these fads and everything. To be honest with you, I could care less. I just go to the gym, play hockey, and work on systems. That's just I find the way that my my age has definitely come into play. I like to have a little fun here and there, but not as much as I used to. That's for sure. Try to keep everything subdued these days. But 647. Once this bottom's given out, then I think we're gonna go and test the low a day. It's unfortunate that we didn't catch a bounce in meta here. So essentially, what I was going on was just a higher low being formed, but that hasn't been the case whatsoever. So we'll give a little bit back. And we were just chipping away. IREN did make me red on the day, full disclosure, but everything else is like that, and CLF, we had that nice trade on there. So yeah, IREN is the only one that we took the big loss on earlier in the session. How old am I, Bart Simpson? I'm Trey, you savage, brother. Trey, double Trey. Double
That's
trade.
crazy. I don't even want to talk about it.
Yeah, hey, you almost said it, Joseph. What did I say? 6'7"? Yeah, wait till you get to 40s. It gets much better, says 2NY. You're not 40, are you, 2NY? I thought you're young, my brother. I thought this guy was, I thought you were one of those.
Okay, Assassino's like, yo, 40's the new twice.
It's true, It is,
I'd
man.
love to believe that.
40s are awesome if you're fit and healthy. Yeah, so just take a page out of Sharif, Assassino's book. Everyone around here is doing
What are you, not healthy? But you're not even close to 40, so.
I wouldn't say not close. I'm not
You're
early.
not even close, bro.
7 years, a lot can happen in 7 years.
I realize that, but
Yeah.
that doesn't change the fact that you're still not close.
No,
You're
yeah, I'm
closer
not.
to 30.
Well,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Gotcha. I'm 35, brother, says Bart Simpson. So shout out to the 90s babies. Yeah, what's up, all of those, I can tell you, says Dangerous. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good times. I heard a lot of people have some fantastic fun in their 40s. A lot of my friends are in their 40s as well, too.
Speaking of exercise.
What do you got?
But remember I told you I was going to get it? I got it. It's here, but it just has to be put together. Here it is.
So this is the one that I got, Joey.
Let's see.
And I got it for way cheaper than it says there. But
oh, that thing. Yeah.
We ended up getting the Aries one. We didn't go for the Venus. I got the Aries because this one actually has the triple pulley system. So what's going to happen is I got to move my computer out of the computer room. So it's no longer going to be called the computer room because there's just no room for it.
No.
Right, based upon. So, Joey, we got the single arm cable on the left. We got the single arm cable on the right. We got the dual pulley on the bottom, and then we got the dual pulley on the top, bro. I can't tell you how pumped I am. This thing is huge, and it cost me basically an arm and a leg just to get it delivered. But this is gonna be the one. So now, it's a squat rack.
So bro, you don't even need to go deep.
It's a dip machine, Joey. It's everything. It's everything you got, baby. Bench pressing, you can do deadlifts, you can obviously do everything that you can do off a rack. But the whole point was to have the pulley system. And check this out. So I can have it in two different ways. You can have it in the thin way, right? If you don't have the other extension to make it a bit more stable.
Or you can have that.
Or you can have, if you want it to squat, you're gonna have the wider base, right? I'm thinking I'm just gonna have the wider base because that way I'll have to use my old squat ones, right?
Over under 2 days for you to complete this thing, to build it.
That's a great question, brother. I have no clue.
It's gonna take a little.
It's gonna be on the weekend though, but we got it in. It's ready to go, and I can't wait to actually build this up because I don't think I'm gonna need anything else for my gym other than this. I already have the Bowflex dumbbells, the adjustable ones that go up to 90, and I have a bar. And I still have concrete weights. That's the only thing, though. That's the only thing. That's what I need to change.
There's nothing wrong with those. Your little concrete weight.
It's a little bit of concrete weights there, Joey.
Concrete. Come on, Meta. Everybody said, did I almost swear or something like that? Everybody said that I almost said I swore or something. I don't think I came close to it. Maybe I was going to say something else, but I didn't even realize it. But aside from that, guys, look where we are now in META. The market is slowly grinding higher. We're not participating there. So we might just get out of this trade. We're going to take a loss on it, that's okay, but as soon as it establishes, we get a 1 minute candle to open south of this, then we're gonna just hop out, right? Because you gotta take into consideration, I'm in at 649 roughly, and then there it goes, $3 against you. I know it's only Meta and we're not doing anything substantial, but now I needed to go $6 in my favor at least, so that's gonna go all the way to 55s, even for me to have a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio. So that's where I'm just gonna get out, accept the loss for what it is. You suck, Meta. I'm glad that we didn't hold on to that any longer. No wonder you're running scared from Sharif. Yeah, this guy's got the gym and he's got the
Westgate
whole
wants
gym.
the link. He's gonna get the link. He asks, he gets, man.
For that thing?
Yeah. All right, here I'm sending it right now, Westgate. I hope it allows me to post the whole thing. What Wastegate? I mean, sorry, Westgate, Wastegate.
Man,
Sent it, sir.
NVDA is gonna go to all-time high today. NVDA is going to continuously grind to all-time high today. Watch out, we're at 211.22s. There's nothing up into 220s that's going to stop this train from moving. So keep an eye out for that on NVDA. Again, I thought we were going to get that bounce in Meta. Obviously, I wouldn't have taken it otherwise. But yeah, that was a hit that I didn't necessarily want. But oh well, it is what it is. Let's head over to what was I just about to look at. Yes, the chain, we did kind of look at it, but we want to pull that back up and see what we got going on. NVDA 220, and yeah, I think this might be in the works for this week, guys. It's only a couple dollars off of it, $9. That can act that as a magnet effect, and I mean, that liquidity can get absorbed like it's no tomorrow, essentially. So at the money IV, 47.5%. I like 220 on NVIDIA, and I think that probably by the end of next year, NVIDIA is going to be a $300 name. So I'm going to continuously buy more stock. It's now my third largest holding, so I've just been on the lows, been grabbing more and more and more of this thing, and I'm going to continue to do so. I can't wait. Hopefully, OpenAI IPOs in the next couple of years because it's just like pedal to the metal with that name for sure.
Bro, that's insanity what we're talking about
with Open.
Like, yeah, and like he's got 15 billion in like actual revenue. He says he has a lot more that he hasn't disclosed, but and they're making $1 trillion deals. It's insanity what's happening. But when you hear what everybody else has to say, and Elon was on All In on the weekend.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It was the Elon podcast. Nobody else talked except Elon, right? Yeah. Or that idiot Cal Canis. But you know how I feel about him. No, I'm kidding. No, but seriously, everybody is saying that the AI spend is going to be gargantuan, and that compute is going to be like. They're comparing AI to electricity, brother.
Yeah, they are.
And I guess they have a vested interest in to say that because He's obviously got XAI.
But I think we have to look at it as such like a massive structural change, man.
It is. It really is.
It's like an insane structural change. It makes, like, think about the efficiency in people's lives from just using that and the use cases of this thing. Whatever it may be, yeah, it is. It's probably the greatest. I don't know if I could say that of my generation. I think it is hands down.
I think so, man.
Yeah,
probably
of my
it's gonna
generation.
be bigger than the internet, but we'll see.
I mean, it needs the internet at the end of the day.
It needs the internet, obviously.
So yeah, I mean, can you be bigger than something that you essentially rely on?
Yeah, that's a great point, bro. I mean, like, can you actually outgrow something? Yeah, sure. I mean, you know, like, I think that if it more, if you can build products off it that are more wealth creating than the products built off the internet, then yeah. The answer, to that is whether or not it gets done. And let me just look at this for 2 New York cents, guys. So 2 New York cents talking about bull, and he's like, look, man, you know, I'm going to take a hit on this. Look, brother, we're right at that technical area of support on bull. It really is a 10.25, generally $10 hold. Since we IPO'd, most of these closing prints are at or above 10. 10 is the level, I'd say, and then I get the hell out of there. You've had good bounces off 10 in the past when you've made it down. I'm talking about, you know, those June lows as well, early June lows, they bounced off 10. And then when you got back into that $10 area on October 10th, which is 10.10, ironically enough, you bounced off it again, but you're still putting in lower lows and lower highs. I mean, I wouldn't be buying bull. It's just not for me. But I hope you print on it, brother. 2 New York cents, it's a bit of a tough one there. I realize that. I hope you do well. It's not for me, though. Hangry Wife, is that head and shoulders on the intraday on BE? I don't think so. Oh, on intraday. Let's have a look at Bloom Energy on intraday. I mean, I don't really trade Bloom Energy, but let's take a look. 5-minute chart we'll go to. Possibly yes, especially if it gives up that 138. Sure, this is a classical head and shoulders pattern. You've got all the ingredients. Now I just need to break down below the neckline. You've got an uptrend preceding the formation of the left shoulder. You have a head that clearly gets above the left shoulder, and you have a right shoulder as well that's very clearly defined, especially if it breaks down. What I'd be looking for, I wouldn't necessarily be getting in here unless you really want to take more risk. I'd be looking for a 139 breakdown. You got 139 defend, 1035. You got it again, 1045. You got it a third time, 11 o'clock. You got it again, 1205. So you get that 139 breakdown, I like it. Otherwise, you could be getting in here and giving it to above this area, right? That 142, 142 and a half. So if it doesn't end up forming a right shoulder, but rather continues on for maybe a VWAP hold, you're not losing too much. I always talked about this. When we used to do the lessons of the day, I said there were a couple of ways, there's more than a couple of ways to enter a head and shoulders. My preferred way was to get in on the formation of the right shoulder with my out being the right shoulder high. For example, I would be getting out on this candle right there, that 1250 candle, the high of which is 142.18. If I was to get in here, I'd be giving it to 142.18 as my stop. I'm talking about short, of course. Or the way the textbook tells you to go long on a head and shoulders is the neckline break. The neckline here to me is glaring at 139, given how many times you've held up there. So a couple of ways to finagle your entry into it in head and shoulders. I personally like this method, getting in on the formation of the right shoulder the best, but it's obviously a little bit higher risk. So make of that what you want, Hangry Wife. Shout out to you. TGE as well as Jacques pointing this one out. It is starting to move back above the volume weighted average price. Alas, though, it is coming into that technical area of resistance. Let me make my case here on the black charts for you of why I feel that way. TGE, we were talking about this one having a neckline, so to speak, for the double top at around 155 to 150, right? Given that this hammer candle formed in this manner. Alas, we drop into VWAP, we hold VWAP, but here we are again, coming into that neckline area, the previous neckline, and holding up. Now, whether or not we hold up here or continue moseying on into the 160s, time will tell. But if you're looking short, this is the area here that I'd be looking short if I was a short seller looking to short a small cap gapper, because that's a neckline break. The neckline is support on the way down, right? That's why you're going short on the neckline break. So that's kind of how I see that. I'm not going to weasel into a short on TGE, and it hasn't set up in the way that I like to get in all long. So TGE for me, no go right now. The one that I'm involved in is DTCK. Ozan's been loving the fact that I'm long DTCK right now. And I'm not going to call it the other name, but what I'm looking for here, Ozan, is a general hold, man. We're getting higher lows here, Ozan, but we're also seeing a plethora of lower highs. It feels like a compression pattern, what, bless you, Ram, what they call, you know, a bull pennant. Whether or not I get finagled out of this one or I ride the trend back into the highs, which is 263, time will tell. I think I've got, you know, the trend on my side. It's up 33%. And, you know, it's a lot closer to the highs than it is to the lows. So DTCK, the only one I'm really looking at right now. Nothing coming up on my scanner. If there are any new small cap gappers breaking out, let me or Joseph know. Absolutely. But right now, Joey, I'm not really seeing a whole lot in my world over. ESLA, light on volume. I want to really stress that. Light on volume on ESLA. But a good looking trend. You can already tell this is light on volume without even looking at the volume bars on the bottom, because there's like intervening periods here on the price action where we didn't do anything. So that means the volume is light, and that typically means the spread is wide. So I personally steer clear of this, but it's got 22.5% under its belt here. So, you know, what do I know? I'm not gonna trade that one at the moment, but I will continue to report to you guys on it. DTCK rocketing up over here. We're gonna wet the beak because we got shares on DTCK packing the patience. Worked over there. We get the print at 69. Now it's showing me 60s, Joey. But the sellers stepping in at 60 just like they did before. So there's been a whole bunch of selling at 60. You can see we've only wicked into 63, so the real level to me is 60, and we're getting a rejection at that level again. That's a no good, but if we get above and hold above 60, I'm going to add aggressively into this position. Let's see what this one brings.
Woohoo! Yes, sir. I like that one. Long meta, 1 minute. So, all right, Gorev, I see what you're looking at there, my brother.
Ozan shorted well, DTCK. What would you do?
Where's
then,
the next call wall on NVDA? Yeah, 220 control. 220. Keep an eye out on 220. I think that it's not even large either, right? Like we're sitting on like 70,000 contracts, which isn't anything substantial whatsoever in the likes of NVDA. We've seen that thing 250,000 open interest, et cetera, man. Some big time cash, big ups. But yeah, no. So what happened?
Hunter Harvey, look at Hunter Harvey.
What did Hunter Harvey?
He's a wild one, Joe.
Oh, okay, all right.
That's
nice
wild
there, Hunter Harvey.
There,
yeah,
bro.
we
That's
like that
wild.
One.
I did it.
No, we didn't see it. Post it up there. Post it up there.
It's
there
on
it
the
is.
Screen.
Corey Ewing. All right, this one's for you, Sharif.
Corey.
All right.
My guy. NUAI seems to be forming higher lows as traders take profits. Is that a good place to jump in long? I see 100x by the end of the winter, my man. So we're looking at NUAI. I think I did have this one on the side chart today, but it did lose its spot. Yes, I do have it. It's up 14 3/4. Let's look at this. Sorry to interrupt you, Joey.
No, it's all right.
Let me have a look at this. Let's start with the daily, though, to get a better feel for the old girl over here. Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Joey, look at this trend. Look at that trend, dude. This is a localized trend from September 22nd onward, Joey. Okay, let's just take that to the highs of today. We're up 1,064%.
Did you retire?
It's over.
It's over.
And look at these clean holds off the 10 EMA. Look, great call out, Corey. Corey, buy this off the 10 EMA. If it gives you opportunities on the 10 EMA, get long and get out on the break of the 20. You haven't even had a 20 touch since that late September breakout. Thank you for pointing this one out. This one's definitely going on my longer term look over here. NUAI, fantastic look, Corey. But there goes DTCK into 65. We got 48s, Joseph Wilson. Let's wet the beak over here. Aw, drop back down. That's okay. We'll look to post at 69, which we already have. And now I'm going to post at 77. On DTCK, looking for continuation on this name. It's up 40% or thereabouts, but it's having trouble with 60 again, Joey, despite the fact that 65 is the high of the day. I'm looking for a price spike into 70 here. We got a great hold. We got a breakout of the compression pattern. Mind you, we were talking about this one forming a bit of a compression pattern. This is a bull pennant where, you know, the compression pattern is lower highs but higher lows, and we got a breakout of that trend. We got a closing print into 60. I'm going to look for continuations above 65. We get a continuation above 65. I'm going to add. I've got shares on right now, so I don't need to add right now, but I am alive to this one breaking out, and there's not too much else breaking out right now. So the fact that this one is going
usually means eyes are on it. Guys, before we go to Adara, BQ is absolutely crapping the bed. This was halted at 487 or 485, and it just dropped down to 315. It is halted down, Joey, here at 315. It looks like it is halted. It's losing the bid over here, and it is down now 21.25%. BQ, hot garbage. Adara.
Yeah, let's take a look here at the performances of our Jimmy Carter picks, because another month is done and it's time to look at these once again. Sean is continuing to win by so much because Palantir is now up over 200% from when we made these picks, and I am still in last place. Only 2 of these picks are actually right on the year, though. That would be Sharif here with UNG, though he is actually green overall, and my UNH pick, which is still down a cool 35%, though, of course, this has not been UNH's worst performance overall. Now, here's the overall ROI. As I mentioned, I'm the only person who is still red on the year, thanks to our good friend United Health, but everybody else is green, and the average return is actually up 26.23%. That's the average. So not a bad look here for our Jimmy Carter picks. Only 2 months left of this, guys. It's been an exciting look. And Sean and Neil definitely in first place here. Brendan in third. Back to you. First and second.
What do you got, Joey?
Yeah, I'm looking at this meta here as it's starting to sell aggressively. 5-minute didn't display anything that we were looking for. Yeah, I know, Corb. I know. It's unfortunate. Once it cracks this low, I'm going to hop out of it because this is going to be the second attempt on it. You did get that little move, and I'm looking for like a 2-to-1 on this one. So I got to be really, really tight on that risk. And there it goes to the downside. So there might be some more additional selling pressure within this name. So there it is. Yeah, all right, let's hop out, man. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Kind of just back to where I started at the earlier of the session, but this is what happens when you try to put on some of these trades and bound these falling knife bounces on META. I mean, that print is beautiful, right? We're not going to complain about it. This is essentially what we're looking for. It closes as a complete hammer. We had some aggressive selling, right? And then sure enough, you get that little bit of move, and then sellers step right back in. So nothing you can do about it. We'll pop out of that one, take an additional loss there. So yeah, boom, boom. So the more it sells, the better. I think we're down 20% off of these highs at this point. Which I like a lot because you can get involved into it. So there it is, 19% to be exact, roughly, Sharif. Exactly. So another 1%, you're going to hit that bear territory. So I think we get there, a gap down, anything can happen, but those indecision prints are going to come. Let's go back in history and just say, hey, after any extreme gap down, what are we experiencing, right? So you get this massive gap down, isolated print, you get those indecisions. Okay, great. Look, it climbs higher, goes to the new all-time high. So, I mean, with these names, it's phenomenal. Look at this isolated print with that hammer candle right there. It doesn't even test the low. Boom, boom. Yeah, it's selling aggressive right now, Sharif. Well, I mean, it's at 643. Yeah, but again, listen, this name anything can happen with this name. You wake up 4 a.m., this thing's gapped up $20, $30. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's that $700 target. It can happen at any given moment. And what I'm getting at is just going through history, Sharif, is that it's going to happen. We just have to be patient enough. The gap will get filled. That's going to be a trade within itself, just because regardless of what it is, we love Meta, and I think Meta's an extremely, extremely strong name.
Look at that gap.
Yeah, it's going to get, I promise.
What pattern do you see forming there?
Here at the lows?
No, yeah. Zoom out so we can get a better picture for the entire move there, Joey. Even the, yeah.
No, are you trying to think head ends? But
no, I'm not trying to say head and shoulders. I'm trying to see what pattern we're forming.
No, I don't see anything.
Other than they're just a trend break.
That's the thing. I don't see anything, and I'm not going to force it either and be like, what is this? And start grab out my trusty tool and do all those things. We're going to wait for those indecision prints. We're going to see. We're going to find them. We're going to be able to identify them, and we're going to know when Meta's going to turn around because I know for a fact that I'm pretty confident in the fact that it will turn around.
I got 55, so we're $12 out of the money right now on that, but which is fine with me. I mean, this is something that I can.
Did you go all? Did you go? No. So exactly. So there you go.
You move to go all in.
You grab a little bit more right now. You're down. I think that's a good play.
Oh, it's only technical area.
Yeah, exactly. It's a matter of time, right? It's just not. It's not if, it's when. and it will fill that gap.
We'll see, bro. We'll see.
It may take a lot longer than what we suspect, but
sure.
at the end of the day,
he's going to be made to pay
you
here.
it's gonna happen.
And again, I really want to stress why I think he's going to be made to pay is because he's not generating the revenue from the capex in this with the same way and the same speed as his competitors are. AWS is buying these and they're renting them out right away. Azure is doing the same thing. They're buying these huge data centers or building out data centers, and they're immediately renting them out as neoclouds, right? And you're not getting that with Meta. Meta, you're going to actually have to monetize Reels, monetize the other things that he's using these for. He's not renting out cloud space.
No, but
he's not going to see the revenue.
But you know what he's going to do, obviously, with Llama? It's just going to be more digital ad rev.
I tell you, I'm not really bullish on Llama at all.
No, I know.
It sucks. Anyway,
it sucks. Considering, like, we know how optimistic Zuck can be with the metaverse and everything. You just spent, and that's why I said that to you before. Does he get a little bit of kind of that obsessive compulsive nature?
He does,
where
and he did it before.
Yeah, exactly. With the metaverse, it didn't work out. The street didn't like it, but I think in this case things will turn. Look what happened after when he's like, "Hey, I'm not going to be spending as much money." What happened to the stock after?
Yeah,
it just went insane. I think that's going to be to say that this gap doesn't get filled is to say that Meta's not going to put in a new all-time high at some point.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see, Joey. We'll see.
It's not the case.
All right. There he is. Oh boy, here goes LJS. I like it. You're like LBJ now. You've got a three. Shout out to Lyndon B. Johnson. LJS with more bullish predictions. Why do you want everything to drop, Big Spile? I just want to know, brother. Was there a big trade that you missed that tainted you for ever and ever more? What happened in your life, Big Spile, that you want everything to tank all the time? I need explanation.
What traumatic experience did you go through?
My man, shout out. He can short the market at any time. He's Big Spile Burdette. I cracked down on some of your gray abusers. Lucky the guys are in charge. I have no idea what the hell that means. Jag, Sharif. But they are also using it. Google, AWS need GPUs as well. Google and Amazon core business sell GPU time as well, but Meta's core business is ads. Completely get that. But you're gonna have to generate the money from the ads in order to justify the CapEx spend. And that may not be as forthcoming, as I'm saying, as some of the competitors in the hyperscale business where they'll see immediate returns through income generation by renting these things out, where Meta won't. So you're gonna have to see an increase in ad spend as a result of the investment. So I just don't think it's as linear or as direct. That's just my opinion, but obviously I like the company, otherwise I wouldn't be buying it.
This is what, there it is. I was just about to read that.
Go ahead.
All right.
It's for you, baby.
Add Joseph. Meta got as much of a chance of a new all-time high in the next year as Blue Jays do of winning a series.
Oh, come on, bro.
Series? No, I mean, if you want to get a series, they will win plenty. The World Series is a different story. So make sure you get the detail in there because they will win plenty of series throughout the next season. Will they go back to the World
I don't know.
Series?
You know we're not going to sign Bieber. We're likely not going to sign Bichette, right?
You don't think they're going to back up the brakes for Bo?
I don't know, man. People have their doubts about that just because of how much they paid Vladdy and how much he's going to expect.
Rogers is not going to want to spend. He wants 350. He's going to get 350 million.
I would love for Rogers to open up the pockets a little bit and spend. Joe, God knows we put a lot of money in their pockets, but that's not the move, is it, right now?
Well,
guys. Sorry, Joey, I just want to mention, DTCK, guys, we took out the high of the day there. We're still holding 46s. We're letting this one run. DTCK, it's got a 69 high, and that's actually where I got printed. That's a real print. Pardon me, I'm waiting now at 77s. Look, it's above the 10 EMA on the 5. The 10 EMA on the 5 is around 55s. It's also where likely it'll test the breakout level. The breakout level was the lower high compression pattern that we spoke about. I see my trend line there at around 52 to 53. So let's see if this one makes a move down there. And if it does it hold up and then move right back up? DTCK is the only one I'm involved in right now. We got 69s on, but we're looking for a little bit more. Oze is still short DTCK. Get it, but bro, I mean, that's not my move to short these above VWAP, Ozan, but you know what you're doing, brother. So I hope you print, and I hope I print at the same time as well. So we'll see what we get on this one. Also, guys, TGE, we talked a lot about this one. Pardon me. It's still hanging out at 60s, but it is now, Joey, above that neckline break. So what's the move here for me? If you were to get in, if I was to get in here, I'd have to give it to 50. So I would have to risk 9 pennies just based on my system. So TGE's headed back up, at least it seems now, with a great drop into VWAP. It technically loses VWAP by a couple of pennies, but it does close right above it on the next candle. So showing 160, 158 right now. Let's see what this one does. I'm going to pack my patience. There goes DTCK right up again into area high, 68, 69 is the area high. Let's look, see if we can get continuation and another new high of day print. We're now up 43.33% on this name, but there is a seller. There it goes, Joseph, in the 75s, but we're not getting the print quite yet because we're waiting at 77s. Also, the spread opened up 5 pennies now. So keep your eye out on aggressive selling as we get into that $0.75 area. If I get printed at 77s, the next level I'm going to be looking at is 88s. So let's see if we can get up into that area high, take out my order there, and then mosey on up possibly into $3. So DTCK, good look, up about 44, 45%.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I mean, Alvin Johnson, man. I know not Calvin, no.
Alvin, Simon,
Alvin,
Theodore.
I'm curious to these guys. I stand by this. I think that Megatron was probably the best wide receiver that I ever seen play, next to Randy Moss. Megatron.
He's one of the most talented guys.
Easily,
I mean, he's
man.
huge.
He's huge,
right?
And just a complete monster. Yeah, I love. And he retired pretty early too.
He did.
He just got out pretty early.
Yeah, I would love to get the take on the boys over here. What do you guys think? Who's your top wide receiver of all time, guys? Yeah, okay, Neil's coming in. Jerry Rice?
Easy.
Oh, so look.
Megatron.
It's always about a Mount Rushmore, right? Because the 4 for the Mount Rushmore, that's Jerry Rice, easy, Randy Moss, Megatron, and the only question is your 4th. My 4th is Terrell Owens. I don't care what anybody says. Terrell Owens. T.O. was so, like, he has to be in your 4. But no, in terms of at their peak, when they were fully healthy, if you just had to win one game and you get one guy at their peak, you're taking Megatron. But like, you can't take, like, Jerry Rice's career is Jerry Rice's career. But like at peak, there's only one dude who ever had people lining up in like punt coverage formation. Like you're trying to jam the guy on a punt return. You would literally line up sometimes 3 guys on Megatron in the red zone. Or like just 2 guys straight up at the line of scrimmage and another one back. There's only one dude they ever did that for I've ever seen in my life, and it was Megatron. He was that good. And the guy would still, it didn't matter. There's nothing you could do to stop that dude when he was on. He was big, he was fast, he could do everything. But no, unfortunately, he didn't play as long as he could have.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, anyways.
And he played for Detroit.
To get what I was getting at there was Alvin Johnson was saying, come across the border and start singing They Not Like Us with us. I'm like, hey, man, win as a team, lose as a team at the end of the day.
Can I say something? I thought they'd run that, Kendrick Lamar, Drake beef a little bit more for
so did I. Well,
LA.
I'm sure that
they didn't really do it,
I
though,
bet.
right?
Well, I wonder why, because Drake was probably like, yeah, don't be posting any of this whatsoever.
He can't control what the Dodgers do.
Well, maybe there's something that he can do. You know
like the Jays, I feel like he has sway on, obviously.
Yeah, they're like, don't ever think about playing.
I just thought they'd do a little bit more with that, but they didn't really.
Listen, I'm the type of guy to listen to the same song on repeat. I would from the flight from Toronto to LA, I'd be playing that song the whole time if I was the Dodgers, because it goes hand in hand. But anyways, guys, there goes Netflix steady grinding off of those lows. That's a pretty good look there, continuing that top.
Hold on, didn't they enter? I think when they had their first home game, Game 3, I think they entered into that song, didn't they?
Yeah, they were playing it the whole time. It was in the background.
Exactly. Okay, yeah. But they were in Dodger Stadium.
The beat the whole time was just going on. Of course, Joe and
so funny.
The halftime show studio. yeah, exactly. For profit. There it is, guys. What a beautiful grind higher there on Netflix from that break of this candle, 1081 all the way up to so that's $10 right there. You won't complain whatsoever. Using the leverage or trading the actual underlying itself. See, the thing is, though, I think NVDA is slightly toppy. It's so risky. These are going to be micro pullbacks. I don't want to be shorting this name. I'd just rather avoid it. Oh, there it goes. Boom, there. A nice heavy down tick. And there you go. As I talk about not shorting it, you get an aggressive move to the downside. So almost 50 cents just like that on NVDA. So there it is, guys. Anything specific you're looking at, let me know. We can go through some chain stuff, construct some things. If you're looking into selling some puts there on METDA. Zen, I know you were buying contracts. Did you sell any puts on Meta as well? Because I think that's a good route to go. I talked about an Amazon trade that I had actually last summer, 2 summers ago, and I got aggressive on the put selling, and I'll just show you where. It's kind of an identical setup on what Meta's got going on, but obviously just substantially more expensive. So here it is. It was this to be exact. Looking for everything that we want. So this is the summer of 24. And what I did is that once I seen this hammer candle formed, I was patient enough. You have that engulfing print. Now price is ready to turn around. What I did is as soon as we got this open the next day south of this, I just started selling puts, selling puts, selling puts, selling puts. And essentially what you do is that when you're selling puts, who cares if the underlying appreciates? You just don't need it to go south of a specific level. So it climbed higher, climbed higher, climbed higher. Now, looking back, you can say, Joe, well, you would have been substantially more profitable if you just bought calls or bought bought shares, common stock, but that wasn't the case in the route that I took. I'm like, let's see if that is an actual profitable strategy. Why? Because you're catching IV at its peak, and then once it cools down day by day, that decay just really, really picks up. So you can gain a lot of premium in a short period of time instead of waiting for the capital appreciation. But obviously, it would be significantly larger than that route. But again, I like that trade. It was really profitable and a good time for me because it worked. It worked really well. I did not, Joseph. I have until Jan 2027, so I don't really care a lot. Yeah, you're good. You're good there, Ozan. Circle, yeah, let's take a look at Circle and what that one's been up to on today's session. I'm not in anything. I could take a third stab here on META just for giggles. There's a word in front of that. Okay, oh yeah, want to cover that one there? I can pull it up here. AAPL, Is the volume supporting it, Sharif?
I think so, Joey, not really.
I mean, it's moving. It's nothing crazy right now. Yeah, not anything substantial, but it is.
Kinaman's yelling about Palantir, guys.
Palantir, okay, he's $4. I know he's over there. $4 on that one. 5 at 202 now on Palantir. Off of the, get it right, is right. Get it right. Get it right, get it right. What's that? Who sings that song? I found you, Miss New. Anyways, so there it is on Palantir. A nice look there. And Apple, volume not supporting it just yet.
No, not really.
What's that guy's name again? The ad?
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, you got one? All right, go ahead.
All right, guys, new traders and Ozan in specific, listen up. The first month, it is absolutely free. That's right. We're waiving all the fees so you can trade smarter, not harder. By upgrading to Elite, you're going to analyze, you're going to strategize, and then after that, hopefully you'll capitalize on their platform that has everything. We're talking infinite data. We're talking about instant trading. We are talking about lightning fast market insights and game-changing charts, and you can predict better with their backtesting tool you get. Reliable, real-time data, global markets at the tips of your fingers. It's an all-in-one platform, so do not miss out and execute your best trades now if you're ready. And only if you're ready to elevate your trading, scan that QR code or click the link in the description. Shout out to the great folks at eSignal.
Okay, we're going to take one more attempt. Sorry, Sharif, one more thing. We're going to take one more attempt here, guys. That's it on META. See if we can get that bounce, a curl over. There's no prints, but we had multiple across the board. So let's wait and see if we can get up to 650 on META.
Anytime you say 6 now.
It's just
6, 7. 6, 7. You're not going to do it? You're not going to do it, Fabian? Come on now, man. Fabian, he doesn't want us to spread it, Joey. Right. So what we're going to do is... Get her, Joe.
That's crazy.
Get her, Joe.
That's crazy.
Reimer was just, she's mean all the time. Yeah, that's just kind of her thing, right? It's just all the time.
She ate all the chocolate-covered almonds, too.
Just all the time. She cannot be nice. I think if she actually is nice, it might like hurt her physically. You know, like where, you know, she'll start getting like a twitch or something. Like, I can't be nice. All right, guys, DTCK is running back up into the mid-70s. We're still holding on to this one from 46. What's going on over there, Kid?
I swear you were saying it too,
I'll say whatever I want, bro. 76 area high right now. I'm waiting at 77. So by default, it's going to have to get above this level. And then we're going to wait at 88. DTCK, good hold here, generally off the 10. It did lose the 10 momentarily, but right back up it goes. It's up 45% and looking to do a little bit more. Now, I want to bring your attention to MSAI because this one clearly has a seller here between 205 to 210. Look what it did in the pre-market. Look what it did at the implied balance open, and look what it did right at noon.
gets into that 210 area and sells aggressively. Now, what's the move? Why am I telling you about something that's selling aggressively into 2? Because it's got higher lows. That's the thing. So right now, that's our area trough into 158. That's another area trough into 177. All the while, we still have that same resistance area there. So MSAI, green on the day to the tune of 26.25%, but certainly having a lot of trouble with that 210 area. Now, what I would do is try to pick it up off a higher low. So right now, as I mentioned, the prior area or the prior area trough is $1.75, $1.77. So I'd be picking it up between 190 to 185, with the idea being that we would have another higher low form and we could make yet another attempt at that 210 break, 2 to 210. It's a range. So MSAI also in focus over here. Keep an eye out on that one if you're looking for one of these small cap gappers moving midday. It's not exactly the best looking one over here, but it's got an interesting level that we can kind of try to discern what it's doing. So keep an eye out on that. DTCK coming back in off 76s. That high day print now showing me 6.7. Looking for a little bit more, up 42%. I'm going to continue to look at the higher lows. So prior area low for me is about 255. If it loses 255, to me, it loses trend and I get out there. So what I'll do is I'll move up my stop into the mid to low 50s to kind of account for that area low right there. I'm going to be packing my patience. If we can get something around maybe, mid 80s, even mid 90s, I think that is the move here. We don't necessarily have to get into 3, but I also need to be alive to the loss of trend. And here we go. We're dipping down into the mid 50s now. It can't lose 55s, otherwise I'll flatten out, despite the fact that we've got 46s on. It's just not the move for me. So we will get out there, Joey, as it will lose trend. So we'll give back a little bit there on this move. We're not going to go negative on it, but we will give back some profits there as it does drop aggressively into that $2.50 area. DTCK, it giveth, but it taketh away. What do you got, my man?
All right, man. Yeah, we're back into this META. We're at full count right now. Let's see if this one works out or it doesn't. I think I'm going to add into it. Maybe we can get a move back into 650. That's going to be the primary objective here. So a nice strong move into 47.48s with that pullback holding that 645 level. Then I think we're going to get that reload opportunity and just double up the position if that works, right? You got to take one step at a time before we even get to that. But Netflix was a nice recovery on the session. Not too bad of a look there. We'll head over to the 15-minute. Yeah, so those signals were displayed across the board there. So a pretty good look. Oh, man, oh, meta. Yeah, it just might not be one of those days, guys, where we're gonna be able to get any form of a rebound in it, because you get that move higher up into 646 and then you aggressively reject it. So keep that in mind. TAC, who's it? Why is everybody getting deleted in here? VSC. Okay, you just keep saying the same thing. Yeah, spamming. Hey, boom. They're on it like that, man. You don't get very many opportunities around here if you're going to continuously spam. But no, in all seriousness, guys, make sure you get those votes in for Sharif for the rundown. Obviously, it's being displayed on the board behind us as well, too, which is absolutely.
That's Mark right there.
Yeah, Mark's working on some things. So get everything in there. Roblox. Yeah, let's take a look at Roblox. I have my eyes on Amazon. RBLX. Over some other names. Nice little this thing might curl over, right? So that's not too bad of a look there. You have that base being formed right at 106 flat. That's, again, there it is, and now you're slowly starting to put in some higher lows there. I vote for you, Joey, whatever the vote is. My vote is Joseph's pack therapy. I appreciate that. Much appreciated, my friend. Yeah, Joseph, that's what my friend.
Oh, here we go.
What do you got going on there, Sharif?
MSAI is going, guys. Here we go. So we're a little bit late on the breakout, man. Don't look at your phone when you're trying to trade. Here we go.
The spammers today.
Don't worry. Your friend, the Chilean Nightmare, has an automatic spam blocker. So it detected that oh, sorry, I wasn't supposed to. There's no automatic spam blocker. Unhear what you just heard.
There you go.
Shout out to Fabian, man. He's killing it there. He's been making a lot of stuff for the show, and shout out to Fabian.
No
man.
way, Trav, man. You're lying.
What happened, Joey?
Trav, man, said he likes spam and eggs. That is, I could throw up in my mouth right now.
I'm not going to be eating
this spam. Do you eat spam?
No, man. I don't even know the last time I had it.
You've had it though.
Of course. Yeah, I've had it. How do you? You've never had it?
I've never. No.
So how can you know you don't like it?
Because it was called spam to start, like right off the gate. It comes in a can, and I don't know what it's a concoction of. I have no
It is a concoction.
Yeah.
But what if it's a good concoction?
No, I don't know, man.
It's not. Don't get me wrong, but I've had it.
Yeah.
I've had it. I'm not going to pretend like I haven't.
That's crazy.
Yeah, anyway, MSAI zigging and zagging now, 210 break. Here's the deal. We're trying to pick this up off area lows. So if this one dips down, I want to say 190, 185, I'm a buyer there. I don't have too many shares, and I want to hold trend. I'm looking for a trend continuation here on MSAI. So let's see if we can kind of do this live. Oh, that's not the one that I want, Joey. That's not it. Or we want this one over here. There we go. That's a little bit better. There we go. So looking for trend continuation on MSAI. It looks as DTCK as well, dipping down into that $0.50, finding support at the 20. It's not really breaking down. Let's see if we can finagle back into this one over here with my L being 243. So we're going to give this one a little bit of room, see if it wants to hold up off that level. If it doesn't, we'll give back a little bit. Simple as that. It does look like it might actually drop though. Full disclosure, so be on the lookout for that. And so, yeah, that's it. MSAI, DTCK, looking for MSAI to take out 210. I'm alive to the fact that there's a possible double top brewing, but I don't think it's a double top on MSAI because we kept hitting 10s multiple times in the pre-market as well. And there it goes, right up to 5s. It drops into 2, holds 2 generally, and here we go at 5, 7s now. Good look, looking for 10s. 10s necessitates a higher day touch. 9s now showing up on the level 2, selling again into the high. I do expect that. Let's see if we're able to wick above it though. Get me that print at 10s, and then maybe we can have a bit of a price spike, get some of those mid-teen prints. A lot of green, a lot of orange coming in on the time and sales. That is exuberant buying. Alas, there's also exuberant selling as we're unable to get above that 210 again. So that's what I'm keeping my eye on right now, though, Joey. These two names, looking for continuation on both these bad boys. Let's see what comes of this.
Yes, sir. Derek Thompson, I don't know, man. I think we would have got a little bit better of a bounce here. So, yeah, it's kind of just chopping me up trying to catch this bottom on this name. Yeah, I don't think it's going to go, right? We're at attempt number 3, and then we just don't want to continuously try to force something that might not come into play today. So, I mean, obviously anything can happen, but from a volume price analysis standpoint, we're not seeing anything. Hopefully this 643 base holds, otherwise we're going to have to get out of that one. Yeah, I mean, he's not doing too good. Big Joe, what's up, Mike P? Where you been at all day, brother? Where you been at, Mike P? Where you been at all day, man? Yeah, hopefully you've been having a successful session. I bet you the waves are gnarly. That's why you're probably not in today. So, yeah, he's probably catching a wave or two.
I'm assuming he's SoCal. Waves
no, bro, he's he's the guy's Outer Banks, man.
Where's Outer Banks?
The Carolinas.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
These guys in Outer Banks, man. So
Virginia, he says something dangerous.
So Jane said, I mean, no, I'm pretty sure he's
Have you ever been to
the Outer Banks? No.
I've been to Virginia Beach with the fam, and I went to Myrtle Beach with the fam as well, like when we were kids.
Yeah, I want to go. I want to do the Carolinas. I've only been to 3 states.
In grade 8.
I've only been to 3 states.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Florida, Texas, and Illinois, man. Oh no, have I? Oh, I guess I went to. Well, yeah, I went to Illinois, and then Michigan, I guess, because I drove.
You've got to be in New York.
I've never been. I've never been. No, I've never. No, I don't think so. No.
Bro, he's never been to New York State, man.
I've never been,
All right.
no,
That's it. You're going to get bullied for not being.
Never been a Buffalo.
You know what I mean? Like, how dare you, Joseph, not go to New York State? No, but like most Ontarians will have at some point or another been to New York State, given the proximity, guys.
No, I definitely have. Okay, so I've been to. No, listen, I used to have hockey tournaments in Cleveland.
Yeah. Okay.
Cleveland, Ohio. So we drive through. Yeah, drive through.
Oh, so you were driving through?
Yeah, driving through there.
Cool.
All right. So yeah, there we go. Well, it shows you how much I know about myself, which is slightly alarming. But anyways, aside from that, guys, let's see if we can get this bounce. Hold up at 643.90s there, guys, and get that move. Come visit me in Cincy one day courtside at the UC. Go ahead.
All right, MSAI taking out the top, and it is a new high day. There's 14. Here comes 15. No, I don't want to take out anymore. There we go. 215 high day. Let's see where this one's going to run, okay? It's got a pre-market high of 30, okay? That is the 4 a.m. print. and it was at about 420, no, it was about 1 million shares of volume that took us into that 230 level, okay? So let's see, now we've got 15s as the high of the day. I don't have too many more out, so I will be looking for drops generally back into that $2 area to add if it does come back in there. If it doesn't come back into 2, generally that area, I'm gonna be looking at taking it out at about the $0.25. I earmarked 230 as my resistance level, given that it popped into that price at 4 a.m. on about 1 million shares of volume, so not negligible. And I'm going to front run that by putting it at the $0.25. That's going to be my move. That's all assuming I don't get any on the ad. MSAI, about 36% and change. We got about 10 minutes left on the show before the big boys take over. DTCK, where are we in? We're in here at 51. We just went to beak at 55. I'm putting my orders here at every 5 pennies. I am alive to the fact that DTCK just printed an indecision candle at 145, and the current 5-minute candle has a lower high. That's a no good. We need a higher high here for trend continuation. In the order to get that higher high, we need something above 256. So we got the 55 print, fantastic there, but we're gonna need a 56 print in order to hold trend. So that's my look there on DTCK. Looking for continuation on that one, but also looking for the ad here on MSAI. 215 high of day coming back down now into 7s and 8s. So what's the move here, Sharif? Well, the $2 area obviously is the first area I'm looking at, given that it's a whole dollar area, but that's actually where the 10 EMA is. So you get the double whammy there, where you get the psychological support as well as the 10 EMA support. So 2 or thereabouts is an ad area for me, Joey. We're gonna see if it comes down there, and if it does, we're gonna be getting in a little bit more. What do you got?
All right, man. Not too bad, not too bad. Let's go over some more volume. You did get that pullback off of the highs in NVIDIA. I thought we were gonna go for a push for 212, and now you're starting to come in aggressively to VWAP. So from 210.94, now trading at 209.83s, which isn't too bad. Always. All right, so I'll focus on this. So there it is, support level snaps, and then sure enough, you get that move. And I'm like, hey, you know what? I might avoid this just because. And then sure enough, as I was saying that, you get that flush to the downside. Now we'll hop back to our volume scanner to see who we got running the show today. And it's not Shohei. Oh no.
Shohei? Where'd you get Shohei from?
I said, I forget what I was saying. I was going to show something.
I don't even want to hear that.
Yeah, I mean, here's what it is, man. Good on them. And we were talking about it before.
No, man.
It's just the nature of the beast, man. The sporting gods.
Any team but LA. I can't.
Yeah. I mean, the sporting gods weren't having it, which is unfortunate. I think out of people who wanted it the most on the field was most definitely Vladdy. I don't think there's any debate on that one. Obviously, those guys wanted, but Vladdy, I think, wanted it the most.
He was the last guy to the dugout, too.
Yeah, of course, man. But the thing is, though, Sharif, you got to close it out when you have the opportunity to do so, and that wasn't the case, right? So a couple chances, scores on, and everything, you just didn't capitalize, and sure enough, that's what happens. You don't put the fate in your hands. So, okay, so we're going back to the volume thing. Sorry, this is what I was about to get at. KView with 148 million shares traded on the session. NVDA sitting in that second place with 114 million market cap. What do we got on NVDA? We're back up above 5 trillion, Sharif. Okay. 5 trillion right there, 3.5%. Market cap 31 billion. What's Pfizer been up to? Not too much as usual.
They got that suit now with Novo.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. They're suing Novo because they don't have enough money to bid on something. It's 68.1 million there on Tesla. What do we got on SoFi?
What do you got?
Listen, I was doing something over the weekend on SoFi. I think during the morning when we were talking about some of the options activity, 32 could be in the works. Yeah, and there it is. So you have that high concentration. So keep an eye out on SoFi, man. This thing might climb up to 32, run into that specific zone. Let's get back to that actually, so we can look at it a little bit closer and see what we got going on. So you go up to 31.20 on today's session when the market hasn't been doing too much. This is essentially going opposite, which is a positive sign. We'll take a look at it from a daily perspective. So you're not too far off of those all-time highs, guys. So that 32.50 is what you're roughly looking at. We're about 5% off of that, not even. So I like SoFi substantial. I haven't even looked at my friend Robinhood in some time. I sold at 22s. I sold half at 22s, rotated into some other things, and then sure enough, bang, that's a really good look there. But I mean, I've been in this since
Joey,
like 35. Go ahead, man.
TGE's breaking out, guys. Here we go. Now this one's up 120%. It's been higher on the day, 183 high, but you got that decided break above 160. There was a whole bunch of selling into 160. That's gone now. Whether or not we get about 13 pennies higher and take out that HOD on TGE, look, it's been really good all day. It had one moment at around 12:55, 1 o'clock, where it did lose VWAP. It regained it pretty quickly after that, but it's still coming into that 175 area. That 175 area, despite the fact that 183 is the high of the day, 175 is the real level of resistance. I'll submit to you guys, based upon the fact that there have been 5 candles that have opened or closed at 175, none of which have closed or opened above that level. So you know that there's a seller right there, a seller of note. Whether or not you can take him out on this latest attempt, excuse me, there's going to be a bit of a different story. So I'm talking about the 150 candle price spike up. We were, I think, trading at 152. Then quick as you like, we were at 173. So TGE, possible breakout trade and continuation into 183 right now. Keep your eye out on this one. Joey, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I just thought, you know, these ones are super time sensitive, and then, you know.
I'm just rambling on anyways.
You're good to go, bro. Talking good stuff.
So, Ashik Ahmed, I'm out at the low of the day, right? We already took 2 attempts on the long side there. They didn't work out for trying to catch this move back into VWAP. So once this breaks, we get a 1-minute candle south of this level, then I'll just hop out. And it's unfortunate, we'll just dig ourselves a little bit deeper of a hole. But that, again, I could just stop at any given moment. I have no issues with that. No intention of getting shut down either today. So do you see any hopes? Yeah, so that's what I was looking at. Boom, boom, boom. And there it goes, all right? So yeah, an additional leg lower. And that's what it is. It's just trend down today. Buyers aren't stepping in right now. You can see that we're in full effect. But I want to go through a couple more of these names. RGTI. I can't believe this. I can't believe the quantum space, man. This has been absolutely
super volatile, though.
It is really volatile. It is. It's extremely. But I mean, that's a big time clean move from September all the way up to where we're currently trading at. I like this. And then things really started kicking off in late last year, like $3 and everything along those lines. Let's take a look at my buddy's pick of the year, maybe. He's like, so he has a big time move, man. This guy, so for every $1 move in this stock, he makes $5,500.
Oh, Nimrod?
No,
I've heard those numbers before.
Oh, Nimrod, yeah. He makes more than that, probably. Yeah. That guy's been putting up a substantial year. I don't know if he's been messaging you or anything like that, but he's been doing pretty good, man.
I bet.
He's been doing really, really good. So good. Shout out to those guys and those people who have three-figure returns, percentage returns. That's some big-time stuff. I was at 1.2 as well, not trying to like brag or anything along those lines, but until I put on this ridiculous amount of size onto IBIT, yeah, we had that, and I think we're still roughly around there. We'll take a little bit of a hit there, 10-15% or so. But Rivian, we'll go through some more of the names. But I plan on, again, there's so much time left within the year, right? We still have a lot of trading sessions, so anything can happen, and we're just going to keep writing. Keep writing those covered calls, man. This is a poor man's covered call, essentially, is what we got kicking up here, Sharif, and I like it a lot, right? So, again, I mentioned yesterday, for those who aren't aware or what we got going on, so when you have a bunch of contracts that aren't working for you and they have an extended period of time, in the meantime, what you can do to just collect some passive income is just write calls against those. Exactly, Dangerous. You love those as well, too. So when they're not working, you mitigate those losses, you roll them over. So I collected 70% of the premium, maybe a little bit more. I bought those back, right? So those are now gone. I roll lower in strikes, and then I collect more premium as well, too. So, so essentially, what happened is, okay, you collected it. Now let's just reset that whole process over again to see if you can make a couple more dollars. But there goes Meta off of the lows. I got to hop out of this one there, guys. So see you later. AC Slater to META. And yeah, I think, again, it's the start of the month. Not going to dig myself any more of a hole. So I'm just going to be a market observer for the rest of the session to see what we got going on. I'm not shut down or anything along those lines, but got to keep those losses small. And that's my objective and my goal for the month of November.
Guys, TGE is continuing the breakout here, so we are about 2 or 3 pennies off the high of the day. There's 180, substantial seller into 180. It's a 183 high, but we really haven't had any closing prints above 175. So really be careful here for this 175 to 180 seller who may step in. Great recovery off the low and an attempt again at the highs. We didn't quite make it up there. It looks like we rejected 180 now and dropping back down into 175. I added into my position on MSAI, and I'm going to get out of this now because we got about a minute left, so we'll take it out the remaining amount break even. But I was getting in at that $2 area. I liked it, and if we were earlier in the show, I'd definitely give this a bit more room down into about 194 or so. But we're going to have to end the show now, and I don't want to have to manage this position when I'm at the desk. But the reason I got in at 2, the 10 EMA as well as psychological support. So it does look like it might lose that level now. But if you're looking for something that's on the uptrend, it is TGE. Be careful, though. As I've mentioned, a lot of selling in between 175 and the high day, which is obviously 183. Keep your eye out on that. Thomas Kondo, Sharif, Goss stopped at a TG at $1.43. Likewise, man, I know it lost VWAP, so I'm not surprised there. Not only lost 3K, I could have made triple that if I had my stop 1 penny lower. I'm really sorry to hear that, Thomas. Those could be the most frustrating trades because you know you had the right idea, you know you had the right setup, you saw everything, you did everything right, but you had your stop 1 or 2 penny low. I mean, I don't really have a great lesson to teach you from that other than to say, be more strategic in your stop placement. I think that just comes with time. I never like to place my stop, Thomas, at or really near the volume weighted average price because we always get breaches of VWAP. At least that's been my observation. So I like to give it either a price action low or just put it like 5, 6 pennies, really depending on the nature of the stock and how it's moving below the volume weighted average price to avoid those exact moves there. But I hope you had, not a good experience, a lesson learned, so to speak, from that. I hope you print up multiple storms going through. Shout out to Thomas Kondo. Hangry Wife, the lesson is a greater gap for stop loss in a smaller position. That could be, brother, but I mean, a lot of people like to trade with larger positions, so there is ways to do that, as I'm sure you know. Yeah, it's a bit of a tougher, obviously, endeavor. All right, Joey, it is 201.25.
Yeah.
Here we go, though. I just want to point out TGE. It's going back into 180 again, guys. So this one's going to be in focus, I think, for the small cap traders going into the afternoon. Maybe we see it hit 2 at some point in the day. You want to send them off? Or?
Yeah. By all means, man. I hope everyone's had a fantastic session, man. It's the start of the month, so don't get too carried away with your losses or anything along those lines, because we have plenty of sessions ahead of us, and there's a lot going on. We're still in the thick of earnings season, so we like that, guys. Hope everyone has a fantastic day. Hit the gym. Do what you're supposed to do. Don't be lazy. Stay disciplined. Let's rock and roll.
Good night, guys.
I want to let you guys know here, Fed's Cook just started speaking, so be aware we do have some